might have missed it. Oh, never mind. I fucked it up. I fucked up the intro again, everybody.
That's okay. Just
Anyway,
run
we're live. You know what I did? I started watching it on my screen and never hit share.
Oh, it's okay. We'll get it one day, guys.
I gotta stop smoking before the pod. Yeah. Jeez.
What pod is this? 39, right? This is number 30.
39.
It's up there.
We're
39
almost at
pods.
40.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we might be at 40. We could have missed a couple. I don't know.
That's fair. We probably have. But no, that's slick. So yeah, we don't really have we're not talking much about specific matches or anything today.
No.
We're kind of generally discussing
Just
arm wrestling, I guess. We haven't done it for a while.
it'd be good.
Last time we talked arm wrestling, we probably knew probably 70% of what we know now.
Oh, yeah. And actually, it'd be good too is get input today on if I get that match.
Oh yeah.
Input. I don't know if I'm getting it or not, but he said he's going to
Arm
talk.
wrestling, we probably yeah.
But it'd be cool if I do get it.
Tell me about that off air here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not a secret. John was on our last, 2 podcasts ago, and he said he really wanted a right-hand match in Grand Prairie. So I just said, well, I mean, you're probably maybe too experienced for me, but I'm pretty strong right now. So
yeah,
it might be a good match. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, he might just be a little too, his IQ might be a little too high for me, but
got a good hand.
But my hand's really good, and he's got a good hand, and my side pressure's high right now. So
Totally.
yeah, it could be a burner of a match where I die. Yeah. Because he likes to have long matches, that guy.
It'd be fun to watch. I'd be down to see it.
Yeah. I think it
That would be fun though.
I think so.
I think you could win that, Brian.
I think so. But you know me, I try to I don't get confident until about a couple days before the match, and then I pour on the confidence, right?
That's fair.
Yeah, everything's got to come together with my training. So
Yeah. You just got to think all the training you did, it'll pay off,
Well, I just hit a 220. Well, I did 220 for 3 today. Strict curl. So, I mean, my goal is 250. So I'm getting close. Right.
Really good.
Yeah.
Dale probably crushes numbers on that thing. Hey.
And no, me and him, we're even now. We're talking. I caught up. Well, because he's been doing it longer than me. So I started out 40 pounds behind him. But then today we were even. We're both going for 230 next Sunday.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Well, I can't see the chat, so you two are gonna have to be the chat watchers.
Yeah, I can see chat today.
Oh yeah, see Thomas is in the chat. He's proof that I got my 220 today.
Yeah.
I did it for 3.
Thomas was doing some pretty gnarly curls too.
Yeah, for his size. I mean, he does doing a little more in his body weight, pretty much his body weight, or a little more. Yeah.
So I guess we could get on that topic while we're talking about it. So how do you feel the strict curls correlate, Brian? Do they correlate quite well?
You know what? It's I've always said that biceps don't really matter, but I think that what they do is they're like XP points, for your arm. If you're really strong in pronation, hooking, whatever, if you got a good bicep, it just basically reinforces it and gives a little more top end to everything. I don't think that you have to have biceps, but I do think that if you have a really strong bicep, it can make everything else a little stronger. So I've been feeling a little stronger on the table, and I've been feeling a little stronger. And I think just by now doing the biceps, it's added to it, right?
Yeah.
I like power.
I like doing my bicep stuff. I know that. I've always done it. Because I do my arm wrestling training, but then I also do my bodybuilder or not powerlifting,
general strength training.
Yeah. Just kind of gym bro lifts that I like to do just to kind of keep me active as well. And then
I would say my input on that would be a little more technical, to the point of the bicep is the supinator flexor. So that tendon's what flexes your supinator.
Yeah.
So when you go into a defensive position, you're put on your bicep almost 100%. So training your biceps good for your defense for sure.
Yeah.
It doesn't help so much on the offense unless you're very bicep driven. Unless you lock in there and just kind of drive, right? So then that lock kind of matters.
Yeah.
But in traditional arm wrestling, you're trying to be on your brachialis, you're trying to be on your lat, you're trying, your bicep doesn't matter nearly as much.
No, and I agree with you, but I also think even the ability not to get opened up.
Totally. That's what it helps.
Yeah, so like if you can lock it in, now I can access.
Once your brack fails, and if your riser fails, and then you can't really access your brack because you're being dumped, your bicep will hold you there.
Yeah, it will pick up.
And you can still start driving. So I think the bicep's super important, especially for inside pulling. But just traditional, kind of more outside style, you can favor the brack and lat usually, and you'll go further.
But you know what I say to that, and I agree. But you know what I say to that is look at Arackley, right?
Exactly.
Why does he go so damn hard on his biceps? And why, you know what I mean? And he's an outside puller, like he really is.
True.
So it's got to have some carryover. It's got to, right?
Yeah, I think the tricep can't be utilized nearly as much as the bicep. Whereas the brack kind of stabilizes, so your bicep must be taking a good amount of load, even when you're in a hammer, right?
I think if the tricep with side pressure, that's when you can really
hit it and get this motion coming in where you're driving your tricep and getting that.
Well, even me when I'm open and I'm doing this
rotate,
I'm actually using my tricep. Even though they don't recommend this, I do it anyway, and it works really good for me. So
and I mean you can use your tricep in smaller ways, like just using like your ulnar chop. You can get a little tricep activation in there, just a little bit, so you don't overdo it too much.
Well, so everyone at home, you want to work on your ulnar?
It's a good one.
Did I have one of those? When I'm driving, I do lots of.
Yeah, I do it every day.
Ulnar is super important because riser is great, but when you're trying to finish, you got to come down. So the ulnar is great for that finishing power, honestly.
Yeah.
Or that opening power. If you want to turn somebody palm up, that's also good to have that chop.
Well, that was one I never had before. And if you watch with even Chuck, whenever I went into that, he just crumbled, right?
It was good. It was really good.
Yeah.
You were really smart. In your match, there was a point where you were about to come forward and crack your own wrist, but you stopped, reevaluated quick, changed the angle, and then came forward, It was
did.
Really smart.
Well, see, what the big part of that was too is I felt him slipping. And I didn't want to. If you really watch, the reason I went like this is because I grabbed onto his thumb because I wanted to beat his hand to show I had a better hand.
Yeah.
So if I would have just went to straps, I think it would have been worse on Chuck. Actually, I'm way stronger in the straps, but I really didn't want to let him slip. And if you watch, there was one time he totally let go of my hand like this, and he still couldn't do nothing because I just was locked on this.
Unlocked him in there.
Yeah, I just locked him in there. Yeah, you couldn't do nothing. And I think like I could have went to straps, but then people have said, "Oh, he just went to strap to avoid the," you know what I mean? So I don't know. If I can do it out of the straps now, I'm going to do it out of the straps. And if I do go with the straps, it's usually because I needed to go with the straps, right? So
to touch on the whole exercise you were doing, I think it would be more beneficial to do the 220 and do like a static hold with it than it would be the curl for arm wrestling.
Well, there is a static hold on the last rep.
It
moves really slow. Yeah.
That's you get the most amount of freaking burn and everything on the last rep. That's perfect. Because that static hold is going to be equating to the table almost like probably like a 0.8 to 1, like super good.
Yeah.
Whereas the curls, there's not often in an arm wrestle where you can actively curl someone in. If you can actively curl them in, you probably already won. Like it's already over. You know what I mean? Yeah. Whereas you can actively statically hold it at a lot of times in an arm wrestle, right? I'd say half the time if you're a hooker, half the time you're holding, half the time you're driving in the pronation. You know what I mean? You're either on the bicep or, you know what I mean? So I'd say it'd be more beneficial. Maybe do a couple sets of the static at the end. If you can.
Unless you're up and over. Like
of course. Then you got the leverage advantage. You can.
Yeah, but as soon as you start leaning away, like kind of hook like me, then you're on the bicep, right?
Yeah. Where your static hold comes in right away. It's basically how much can you static as they negative you, not so much how much can you explode and curl. But the exploding curl still is great for finishing Because when you can't finish, you can just go for a second surge, exploding curl. Boom. There you go, right?
Well, that's why you'll see like the Tim Lewises and those kind of people as well. Like they set their hook and they get locked and then they just lean with their body.
Yeah.
Because they're
So
just
they know
bicep
where
locked.
the spot is. They're like, oh, that's my lock. And then they can kind of
Yeah.
just.
No, 100%. And
Yeah.
that's what they end up doing. So
both are good, but I'd say the static could be more beneficial.
yeah.
Yeah.
Heavyweight, get your tendons rock solid.
Well, we were doing another one today that people talked about before not being relevant, and that's the heavy dumbbell and actually going on the table and taking it down like this and
They do
doing
that in med hat locks.
Yeah, well, we were doing that. We added that back to our bicep.
Nothing wrong with that, I don't think. I think that you're not getting a 1-to-1 of the weight, but you can get an amount of weight. That's for sure.
Yeah,
and it's more a test of your fingers and your cup of more than anything, right?
Yeah. And we hold it statically. Like I bring it down and then I hold it and then I slowly bring it up.
Especially if you can get a fat grip.
That's what fat grip, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good exercise, man. If anyone says that's useless, I don't know if they understand what's going on. That's a good exercise.
Chris Drummond said it was pointless and stupid. But
well, I wouldn't say it was pointless and stupid. I would disagree with that.
Yeah, I do too, because actually I think for stopping strength, it's amazing actually.
There's gonna be a guy who's gonna hit faster and harder than you, and you gotta be able to go from this spot back to where you need to be. You need to be able to get to your spot. You know what I mean? And you're gonna burn a lot of energy, more than you need to if you don't know the most efficient route back. So what does that training do? Teach you the most efficient route back. So it's good for training, good for technical training mostly, honestly. That'll teach you, boom, like you were saying, once someone finds their sticking point, Dakota, once they know where that spot is, it's game over. They're like, I've gotten to a position now where I know I can surge from here. Like it's over. It's, you know, they have what they need. And you're trying to take everything. You're not trying to give anything, right?
Yeah. Oh, and I'm not going to say who, but I found somebody to make side pressure machines.
Ooh.
Yep.
I like it. How's the chat
doing?
How's the chat doing?
Oh, chat's doing good. I'm good. Somebody just said Alex Credentia just got added to the card in September 7th or something.
Yeah,
I'm curious if that's maybe just a special guest.
It must be just a special guest.
Okay, that's cool.
Contracted with East versus West.
Yeah, and we're talking. You know what? It's too bad because you know who I think. Ronnie brought up Greg Deneen. You know who I think would be good for Greg Deneen is Patrick. Oh. Patrick from Nova Scotia.
Oh,
you know the guy. I think it's Patrick. Is it? I don't want to butcher his last. It's like. Do you remember his last name? I forget it.
No, I'm trying to think of who you're
Starts with an M. Starts with an M. It's the one that, remember the other night he came on and he talked with Mark McPhail at the practice?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
McKinnon, Patrick McKinnon or Patrick something?
Yeah, I don't remember what his last name was.
Yeah,
he sounded like he was really good.
He is good. I've seen him at National. He ended up taking, the one time I watched, he took second to Bellin at Nationals.
Wow.
Sure.
Wow.
Yeah, on the left, he's killing everybody on the left now. Like I think he won Nationals on the left.
Greg would be a good match for him then, because Greg, I mean, is whew.
Yeah, but Greg's like, I feel like a baby in that guy's hitting left hand. like really.
It doesn't even make sense how his left hand's so strong.
I've never felt anybody as strong as Greg like that. Like just that static strength. It's just retarded.
I gripped up with him and there was zero, literally zero. There's no point. It's like when I grip up with Matt, it's just like, yeah, I can do it, but there's not really a point, you know?
Well, you know what I'd like, you know what I'd really like and why I'm starting to take training a hell of a lot more serious too, was I'd actually like to like at least help Matt, like, you know, at least get strong enough to help, like to, you know what I mean? Like just be somebody that can help his arm, you know what I mean? And I mean, I think in the next year or two, I'll get pretty strong. I have I'm nowhere near where I want to be. So I think my peak is still a long ways away. So
you still got to get a rematch with Sean.
Sean, yeah, well, I know.
Sean progresses very fast as well, though.
Sean's crazy. And actually, it was funny. Sean's like, hey, you want to do the super match soon? I'm like, no, we're not super matching. You're my corner man. Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't want to pull Sean. Even if I did feel I could beat him, I don't know. I don't really want to pull him. So I can't beat Sean right now. He's too good. He's too
He's
technical.
very good. He's very
He's
good.
got too many. Even if I found something, he would close it.
He's got a
So
lot of lanes, man. That guy can
he
pull
does.
any lane, any style. So you're kind of screwed if you start to think you got something. He'll just switch it up.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. So I mean,
You
yeah.
got to be someone tough like Josh Bellin, who just has raw torque to kind of cut him off and just make it about power and force it to
Oh,
be
yeah.
about raw power.
See, and that's the thing, right? It's like I'm looking because I want to be competitive. So I'm thinking, well, shit, Josh, like I've pulled him 4 times in competition and I'm nowhere near. So I'm thinking, well, I better just start doing this inside shit because that's my only hope. If I can suck him
Yeah,
into a hook eventually, I might be able to get him one day, right?
totally. You're gonna have to
Yeah.
freaking
I don't think I'll ever beat that hand.
to close the gap. You're gonna have to get enough arm strength. Just even if you were to break his hand over, the problem is his lever. You
His
need
lever.
you
Yeah.
need to be 40% stronger than him because he's getting a 40% leverage advantage. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna have to. What I'll have to do is once I get strong enough and I build that confidence up, is start using my frame like I should, like use my frame like you do, Zach. Because if I can get to the point where I'm using my frame like you use it, good luck. I don't think many people will beat me if I can get that confident.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one though. Zach uses his frame better than most people.
Oh, I know, but I'm gonna start slowly doing the same shit. I'm gonna try to learn from Zach because he's really good at it.
It's
Yeah,
like he's saying, you got you once you start doing it,
yeah,
the more you do it, the more you do it. Like even your press is coming along pretty good, Dakota. The more you do it, the better it's going to get.
Coming
And
all right.
the speed factor comes after. Like you don't even have to practice the speed at first. Just practice that motion. Whatever motion you feel you need. If it's more of a forward, if it's more of a dragging back, whatever it is, just nail that motion 10, 20,000 times, do it over a couple months and then add the speed and it'll come quick. Once you have that lane, right? You just got to build the lane basically.
Yeah.
yeah.
No, for sure.
It's a good one to have because you know what? It's always nice when we could take people's hands, we get them right near, but there's always that guy that stops you, right? And now you got to work to pin him. You know what? If you can just use your frame and use your and get behind your arm,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. You're finishing it. It's the guys that get there and they just don't know what to do, right?
Even like Georgie Sveitkov versus
Oh,
Jared.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's a good example.
yeah. And that's the main thing is you have to be comfortable enough to understand you don't have to lose your pronation when you come up. A lot of people when they're down here, they're like, if I come up, oh, I get sucked into a hook and I'm done. You don't have to. You can keep the pressure and then apply it as you fill up and keep the height. But people in the moment aren't thinking right. And if they do try to come up, yeah, usually they end up getting sucked back into the hook because they stop fighting the height. They're
Yeah,
too busy on trying to transition. They forget the
yeah.
pressure they hear, not don't put it in your elbow and try to lift yourself because
It's like a pronated chin up.
it's like a pronated chin up. Yeah, if
Yeah.
you could practice pronated chin ups like this, you'd be very good at transitioning from like a open top row kind of
Yeah,
up and down.
especially if you get them here and you need to get on. It's not the process of moving the body.
Yeah.
It's the process of pulling the arm.
Exactly, right there, and that's what's hard to teach people who aren't inside pullers because you
Yeah.
have to use your frame. That process of pulling the arm is pulling into your frame, right? You're pulling in so you can lock and go sideways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where instead of just leaning back and more rotating, right?
I started, well, see, that's how I started pulling was the leaning back. Like I've always been that way, but I want to be able to go either way, right? Like,
Well, it seems to me like if you're very matched with somebody, but you're better stylistically, what will happen is you will end up taking the hand and wrist, and if you end up getting stuck, if you know how to do
in
that,
the transition, yeah, yeah.
but if you don't have the transition, even though maybe you're better stylistically, boom, eventually they'll put you on your back, and once you're on your back, there's no barely any bicep activation when it's off the
You know
shoulder.
who just talked about this?
Boom, right?
Ryan Bowen just talked about this yesterday. He
Talked about
calls
it.
it working the dead space, working that dead space.
Yeah.
Like knowing what's failing before your opponent knows. Like if you need to like drop the like let the shoulder like take it out of the equation and put it on the back, do it before the opponent realizes he's beating
Yeah,
your
no,
shoulder.
exactly, because
And like, yeah,
it's a
like
choke point. It's a choke point they can get
yeah.
you in.
Yeah, that's right. And not only that, like if I'm taking something and I know I'm taking it, then I'm taking the next thing. But if you take it away, I just think that I don't know what the hell you're doing. I just think you're changing your attack, right? Like I didn't
Yeah.
like if I know I took you and now I took you outside your shoulder, well now you're in trouble because now I'm gonna, now I'm gonna say I'm gonna take you outside your bicep, right? So
Boom. Yeah, once you're outside, you can't use your bicep anymore, right?
right, that's right. Yeah. So and I mean I'm always like I'll feel it and then you'll see me. If I think I need to go inside, I'll come inside. But if I think the outside's the lane, like, you know what I mean? I think the biggest thing
Don't
in
try to
arm
go
wrestling,
outside, straight through the
yeah,
finger.
yeah, it's right through the fingers, buddy. You know it. And I think a lot of times, right, people get like stumped. They don't know what to do when they get stopped, right?
Yeah.
A lot of rookies, they're either getting the pin or they're getting stopped and then they're getting tired and then eventually losing, right? So what you got to do is when you hit a stop or you hit a wall, now you got to be like, that's where Unger Bayev shit comes in. Now it's
Yeah.
like, I even tried it on Chuck. I hit this way and I felt the block, right?
Yeah.
Then I moved it like half an inch and his arm crumbled down to here. You know what I mean? So
You just got to find the
you
lane.
gotta find it. Yeah, like feel. And if you feel a little bit of pressure, act like go away from it and then go right back on it again. And
But I'll
take
be honest, Brian. What we're talking about right there only comes with arm wrestling. You have to
it
arm wrestle
does. It
people
does.
more and more and
You're
more.
right.
For
You're
your
right.
arm wrestle, each time you get a pull, you get a little better at that. So you can't.
Yeah.
Problem is you can't teach that to
You
people.
can't teach it. No, you have to get it.
That's a
You're right.
physical thing that everyone will learn eventually if you put enough mind muscle connection when it's happening. If you just sit there and just try to muscle it the whole time, you might
And
never
don't think. Yeah. See, I'm always thinking and
you should
analyzing.
be
Right?
thinking, oh,
Yeah.
what's that pressure? Why'd this happen? What could I block with? You know, if you're actively thinking about it,
Yeah.
you'll be able to in a match when you have adrenaline, it'll be muscle memory. You'll start
Muscle memory. Yeah.
code on your own. If
Yep.
you have to sit there
Yep.
and start thinking in your head, you're
No,
probably
yeah. Well, you're right. It is more muscle memory though. It's more of
a feel.
okay, I know what to do. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Switch it.
exactly.
You know what I mean? So you're right. You have to build that over time. And I think that's the difference of being strong and potentially a good arm wrestler to actually leveling up to where you are. Because these are the little things that you figure them out. That could be 2 levels. You just jump 2 levels because you figured that out.
100%.
Yeah, yeah. No,
And it's almost unrealistic how much level you can gain just by finding out, oh, if I do this now, I gain 6%, but 6%
it's
is
huge.
is a lot. In
Yeah.
arm wrestling, that's a lot. The thing is, crazily enough, though, it's easy to gain 6% in certain scenarios where you were doing a mistake or something, or you learned a new thing, where it's really hard to then fight 6%. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just by tweaking, that's why some matches can go 2-0 and come back 3-0 if someone makes an adjustment, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, that's the old me. You know what I would have done with Chuck? You remember when I kind of punched sideways? The
Yeah.
old me would have just went as hard as I could and then came in and then pressed it down, right?
Yeah.
Like just use raw power. And it might have worked. I think I could have done that if I wanted. But I hit that block and I was like, no, I'm gonna hit oh shit, there we
It
go.
was good, man. It was really
Exactly.
it's technical. It was very technical.
Yeah. The old me would have just used raw power and tried to go through them. And the new me says, nope, that was a hard lane. I'm gonna go this way's easier, right? So
Totally.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Dakota, you've had a lot of matches in the States recently. Do you feel like the ready goes in the States are different than the Canadian ready goes, or do you feel like it's kind of all the same?
Well, I mean, with Terry, like, I kind of knew what I was expecting, just because he's always the same. You know what I mean? Same with Jeremy, but it was different when I was down there for the Garage War, just because of the ref.
It was different setup too.
Yeah, completely different. I wouldn't say the ready go was different, but the setup was different. Like I was arguing with the referee when he said go. Terry would never do that, right?
No. We would get away with none of that shit.
I think it.
And he was hard on. I thought Terry was harder on us than them with that one.
Oh yeah, 100%.
He was giving me a hard time, buddy.
He told Dalton not to move, and I was like, "Yo, if I did that, Terry would beat the crap out of me."
Oh yeah, he's like Brian Thumb. I'm like, I'm not even on. I can't even cap if I
I'll
go
tell you what,
down
our
here.
refs are not biased towards us. That's for
No,
sure.
they're not biased towards us. No.
No,
If anything, they make us better. Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say the refs here are like when your dad is like coaching you or something, or like you're like, oh, my dad's the coach. It's like, no, you don't get it easier up here. Like
No.
it's gonna make it way tougher for you.
We will put you right on the line of the rule. Like we will make an example of what the rule is with you.
Yeah, but
that's fine. Keeps everyone fair though, for sure.
Ready go A. Somebody in the chat. Do they add an A to ready go?
They do, yeah. They do.
That's funny. It's a good one. I mean, I think like you can get so in depth talking about technicalities too, because
you can.
Like, there's like technical arm wrestling aspect, but then there's like the technical side of if you're going to a different place, you just like need to understand what they do differently. That's like us when we go to Montana, right? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't seem technical, but it is. Like you need to have an understanding of what to expect when you're down there.
But that's part of that's part of your level though, Dakota.
Part of the
Like knowing,
preparation.
Yeah.
yeah, well, the preparation and studying the rules and using them to your advantage is actually a level thing, really.
Oh, of course. And like that'd be the day I get caught lacking because of some rules. I'm gonna know them. I'm gonna use them to my advantage.
To kind of comment on that, Dakota, especially with what we've seen in the States, especially recently with everyone who's been watching, you seem to get a lot in the setup. Do you want to talk about maybe what you're doing, why they're not? Or...
I mean, all I gotta say, some guy said I have a hard time winning if I can't take a guy's hand. Big hole in my game. And I don't know. Yeah, that comes with that supination and hook, because then you can even just
sometimes
work on not getting your hand taken. You don't always have to take someone's hand, but you just need to maybe be strong enough that your hand doesn't get taken, and then it's neutral, and then you have to have a stronger arm or a better leverage point.
Yeah, because if you got your hand, you can always go sideways, right? So
yeah,
or backwards, like back or
sometimes sideways. Fighting a different angle might yield better results than going straight ahead. Like maybe fighting it lower with the ulnar chop, or maybe fighting it really high with like a really high
rise, and
or changing the angle. Really just fight that one angle and see if they start to crack. Once they start to crack, jump into your lane,
Well,
from the height or from that advantage point.
Going back to what you were saying about setup too, like you can almost tell in the setup if you're going to take somebody's hand.
You don't like it. You need to get the rest. If you don't like this, if you're not getting what you want in the setup, and how many matches I've lost? Mostly all my losses I've lost before they go in the setup.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Unless I'm just utterly stronger and it doesn't matter, right? Yeah. And then again, I'm not losing the setup in those situations.
No, exactly. Right. It's very seldom you'll find someone who's like a lot stronger than you, but like you can find people stronger than you that you can take stuff in the setup.
New guys,
But I was gonna say you can tell because the reason they feel strong is because they know the setup.
Yeah.
Like it's when you like, especially Montana, actually back to that, does it really well, because you'll watch me in the after polls at Montana and you'll be like, this guy sucks. How did this guy win that match? But it's just a complete difference of like my arm is always blown up after a match, even if I win 3-0. Like I've done best of sevens, whatever, doesn't matter. It's always blown up.
As soon as it rests a little bit, it's done now and fatigued. Right?
Yeah. But it's just the constant fighting in the setup for what I'm trying to achieve. Like even if the person I'm arm wrestling isn't really going crazy on my arm, I still feel tired because you're just like working for 5. Yeah, and your hand blows up. Like but if I was actually rewatching my match with Dalton and I had his hand blown up before the first round was even over.
Oh,
I was quite surprised.
I could tell. And you know what? Ronnie actually helped me because before I didn't do table time 10 days out, right? But what I did do, me and Jared, is we went on the table and we would just hand fight. And he would blow my hand up like badly. And we did that twice a week before my match. And my hand actually didn't blow up at all. And I thought it was gonna. I thought because I've been having problems with my hand blowing up lately.
You yourself to even more than you experienced, so it was ready for it, really.
Yeah. And actually, I started looking it up, and a lot of the Bulgarians and all that, they will blow their hands up like 10 days out. They won't pull really, but they'll blow their hands up like as many times as they can. Yeah, because now your endurance and your hand, it's like conditioned kind of, right? So
totally. I mean, the human body, it's better to do short-term conditioning. It responds well. A lot of people, not everyone,
not everyone,
respond to short-term conditioning. So you'll do something and you'll get a bigger boost for a short period after. And if you keep doing it, it'll actually taper off.
Yeah.
Almost better to just do it for a little bit, almost like a cycle. But like with just like some exercises even work like that. It just stimulates the body for a short period of time with a new type of movement, right? Sometimes all it takes is something new to get that new growth, but then you got to constantly do new things to keep that new growth coming.
Oh, and when you find like, because I think it takes probably guys 5 years most of the time to figure out what works for them before a big match or an event.
Got to try everything.
And
And it
yeah,
takes
and
time.
and I'm a couple years in, but I can tell you the last match I had, I figured something out. So now I'm not going to change. I'm going to do my next prep is going to be the exact same, and I'll see because if there's something to it, you know what I mean. If it's working, stick with it. Don't like change it because someone tells you something else. Like,
You know what's
Yeah.
crazy?
works for you.
I was training as hard as I could and practicing as much as I could. That was yielding me the best results. I was recovering the best, and I was getting. I felt the best when I was constantly overtraining as much as I could.
Me
I
too.
don't know why, but I seem to respond well. For like I said, a short period though. There is like a
I,
range.
I I like to beat myself down to where almost
Yeah,
everybody doesn't beat me, but I feel everybody. And
yeah.
then when I get to that point, now it's time to heal, rest. But when about 10, 14 days after that point, if I've rested, I've noticed I've been the strongest I've ever been every time I do it. So,
Yeah,
yeah. It's about peaking for the day too, right?
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I already went to practice today. I got a good pump going on.
Yeah, you know what? My arms are done. I don't have a good pump. I swelled up to almost 19 and a half inches on the bicep again.
Damn.
Yeah, yeah. I'm going for 20s, but I want 20s not pumped. So I still got a ways away before I get there. So
You want to see what 14s unpumped look like? Look at
they're 14 and a half, aren't they? Yeah.
that. Probably 14 and a quarter. Maybe 14 and a half with pump right now.
Pretty strong for the size, man.
I'll have 14-inch biceps one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you de-age, bet you're 12-year-old.
I gotta get there still, man. Some of us don't have big arms like you,
Sometimes definition matters more, you know?
dude.
Yeah,
I've
it's
no
interesting, like yeah, I try all if I hear like see you doing something, Dakota, or I see Zach, you doing something, I remember it and I try it too. That's another thing that's important for new pullers.
Right?
Don't ever put limitations on what you learn or how you want to pull. If you say, "Oh, I'm an inside guy, that's all I'm going to do," well, then that's all you'll ever do. Like you should
Totally.
try everything. Yeah, like just everything, and put it in that memory bank, that muscle memory bank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like we've probably forgot more exercises than
Oh yeah.
like,
Oh
but
yeah.
no, you're 100% right. Like when you're new and you want to get into the like, I don't know how I want to say this. There's no one right way to do things. Like
No, no.
someone will show you something and it will work for you, and then someone else will show you something and it will still work for you. And it's a nice thing about it. And this is with any sport too, really. But there's a lot of ways to get good, and it's a matter of doing what you enjoy to get good. It's
Yeah.
like because there's
Another thing is don't rush it. I rushed it and I got injured a lot.
yeah.
My first
Yeah,
2 years, I was rushing the process. Just know that it's a long
double
journey.
overtraining right off the bat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I ripped my bicep tendon in the first month. You know what I mean? So just know it's a long process and enjoy the journey. Like enjoy it. Like enjoy it. Like don't worry about being at some high level your first year. Just
No,
enjoy everything. Enjoy
practice you
the
are.
pain, everything. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And then remember everything. And you know what? If you don't put too much expectations on yourself and you just enjoy it and you have fun and you just constantly be a sponge, don't worry, your progress is going to come real quick. And the sky's the limit, really. I mean, now I'm done year 2 and I'm just leveling up now. So
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what. I mean, studying with people who are a lot better than you definitely helps. I'll tell
yeah,
you that
it
though.
does.
Like,
It does.
don't be discouraged if you're losing to guys that are really good. The whole point is you're pulling with those guys. You're going to get better just by, like we said, the more you pull, the more you're going to start feeling things, right? And those guys, you'll start feeling the angles they're using. Those are the angles you got to learn, you know? Once you can feel what someone's doing, really understand it fundamentally, you can start training yourself to do it, you know? If there's no one to teach you, you can teach yourself as long as you have guys around that are good enough that you can actually learn good techniques.
Well, see, we're lucky. We're surrounded. Like we all joined the club, and it was like we're surrounded by good pullers, technical.
Basically, the myth is that someone can teach you how to arm wrestle. Everyone has to teach themselves, basically. Even if
Yeah,
someone's telling you how to do it,
doesn't
you
mean
pick
nothing.
your own style at the end.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it does help to have the right people. Like
Totally.
when I started, Stu Bellick, he was kind of my mentor because he was like, you guys, everybody was beating me, and I was the big guy. I was like, this sucks. You know what I mean? I'm strong. I can crush these guys. And I was losing to everybody. And then Stu goes, okay, I want you to start with this guy. He goes, this guy will be perfect for you. And it was Cody because Cody had that flop press, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, okay. And then my only goal for the first 3 months was to beat Cody. And that's all in my head. It was like a secret thing. I didn't really tell him I wanted to beat him bad, right? But and I did. I put a target on him, right? And then I had a few other people. I was like, okay, not that I beat them, just to where I can practice with them and feel confident practicing with them, right? It's not about beating someone or a teammate, right? But and then my recent one was Hugh. I wanted Hugh used to really hurt me all the time. He was so strong, and I used to always pull alpha shit with Hugh all the time. Like I just every time he would be at practice, I'd have to like pull my heart out, and then I'd leave, and I'd be icing my arm for a week afterwards, and I ripped my bicep tendon actually training with him.
Oh
So
God.
yeah, it was Hugh. It was Hugh I was pulling with that day, but I didn't know if I was injured for like 3 weeks because I just thought my arm was sore, and then I
Yeah.
found out I had a bicep tendon tear. So
Totally. Totally.
yeah, so
That's another big thing is it's hard to know when you're injured sometimes.
yeah, it's yeah.
Yeah, because you're always sore.
You're always so sore. You're like, oh, I'm a little more sore than normal, but then it works for like it doesn't go away for 3 weeks.
Doesn't go away. Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
I did something,
That's
but it's
how
too
it
late
is.
now because I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, when by the time I got the MRI and we seen the tear, it was a 47% rupture or whatever from the bone. It had started healing a bit already. So he said, well, listen, let's give it 3 months. And if you get even half, if half of it heals back, you don't need surgery. You're going to heal stronger. But he goes, if it doesn't heal, we'll cut it off, reattach it. And it just healed. Yeah. I just rehabbed it, didn't pull with it for the first year and a half. Right. And then now I'm just starting to pull left-handed now. So that's why I suck so bad left.
It's okay, man. Left arm doesn't even matter.
I know.
It seems like I think the left's gonna be coming back for me though.
Yeah.
I haven't pulled left-handed since Grand Prairie last year, I don't think.
Mm,
I got first, and then I just retired it because it
really?
hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, because it hurt afterwards. Oh yeah,
Well, that was when my rear delt was really bugging me. It's getting much better now, which is nice.
that's good. So
Um,
we're all going to Grand Prairie, are we?
I'm hoping to. I have some things going on that I'm got to figure out. So
Well, I signed up for the seminar already.
yeah,
I gotta go learn from my idol. So
yeah,
I
might
pulled
as
I
well.
my first year I based my whole pulling style on the
And
guy. So
could you swing by and grab me on the way, Brian?
yeah, yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
Well, there we go. It's
I
that
was gonna
easy.
fly, but now I'm gonna drive. So
Yeah, I said you were gonna fly, so it's like damn.
I was gonna, but now I missed the seat sales, so I don't want to pay $1,200 to fly there and back.
The highway takes you right past me, so
Yeah, yeah, I can go up that way, grab you. I don't, yeah, that's no problem.
sweet.
And then as far as the other one goes, I'm still a little bitter I didn't get a match. I still wanted a match. I was trying. Tried swindling a match for the 26th of October, but do you have an announcement,
Oh,
Zach, by the way?
No announcements. No announcements.
No, nothing yet. Okay.
nothing yet, I don't think. But there is some exciting stuff coming. They have announced the Country Folk versus City Slickers. Um,
They
I
haven't
don't
announced the matches, but I already know a bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I can say because I have like the whole spreadsheet and everything.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, I know I'm not going to say nothing, but I pretty much know them a lot more.
it's gonna be
Two-thirds of the matches.
interesting. Them
It'd
New
be
York guys, man, they're full of themselves, man.
I just didn't want the no Canadians, and then all of a sudden there's Canadians, and it's like, well, what way? I wasn't good enough,
Yeah,
I'm like, I was pissed, right? But I get
yeah.
it. I get it. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
It's okay. The next one, Brian, would be crazy.
Yeah. Arms are getting two. I'm going.
getting two, baby.
Oh yeah, I'll have a match. I know.
When's
Dion
that?
do me like that. So
Or is
By
that
I genuinely think by Arms again 4, like every match will be bangers because
Oh, yeah.
everyone will know where everyone's level is.
Yes. It'll be everyone knows how to make a banger match. But that guy and that guy, boom.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the problem too right now because I mean we see certain guys, we know they're strong, but we don't know technically where they're at sometimes,
That's
right?
the big thing. Like that was what I think what happened with Dalton and myself.
Yeah, you're
Like,
just
yeah,
like he
Dalton's
wasn't.
strong, but they just didn't
Well, he didn't.
quite.
Yeah, he didn't pull. He hasn't had enough time pulling to feel enough hands, and I think that's some of their problems because they have some strong guys that are going to be good in Montana, but
Oh
I just
yeah,
don't think that they're getting gripped up enough with different hands, and I think
yeah,
that's somewhat their problem. I think their practice sizes are very small too, from what I hear.
yeah.
So
From what I've seen, that last tournament they just did look cool.
I
But
felt almost bad blowing them away so badly.
yeah,
Yeah, I did almost. Yeah, but it was still good. Yeah, Alberta, like, and
hey,
BC, I guess. Yeah.
Alberta showed up, man.
Oh yeah, we always
I had a
do.
great time, dude. Every single person on that card was a great person. They were all awesome after.
They
Like,
were. They were.
Yeah, no, it was overall really good.
It
But
was-
they do not lack strength wise. They just lack technicalities
yeah, yeah.
for the most
yeah,
part.
and it's that technicality that we were talking about where you got to feel for it over time. So it's hard to, you can't just teach them. You can teach them a little bit, but it's like they have to do that over and over and over again, right? And then it'll finally start clicking. It takes, like I was saying, tens of thousands of repetitions for you to really start to be like,
Oh,
your
and
body's click.
I think some of them they want to get better. Like that Jake Covert guy. I felt his hand.
But he's good.
Listen, he's gonna be really good. He's just got a couple holes that are like really I didn't like him, but if he fixes two things, I don't think that many people will beat him in his weight class.
When I went down there with Matt, I showed him. I felt bad because like they ask you to show you things, so you show him
Yeah.
everything you can in a short period of time. But I showed him like 30 things in the strap, and he took in like a lot of them.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Well, see, the strap, he was I can tell you one thing he was doing. When he gets strapped up to his opponent, he was just pulling like if he wasn't in the strap. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well,
That's a big
you
thing.
wonder why, why Buddy was taking your hand is because he was using back pressure and he was pulling like you need to do. You need to bind on that strap instead of going like you normally would through the thumb at the top
Yeah.
roll.
You should,
You want to you
yeah,
want to come out like this, you know what I mean? And he didn't know that. He didn't know that you pulled different in the strap. And I'm like, you guys need to start training more in the strap too, right? Like you should be
yeah. Oh
like
yeah,
strapping up
big,
every
that's a
time.
big
Yeah.
thing. And
And
the
then
strap, it's a lot more static. You don't
mhm,
have much option to be active, so you have to realize static is king in the strap too. If you can
yeah,
be very static in your movements, you'll go really far in the strap.
yeah, I
Versus,
agree.
it's not so good to be static and like that outside the strap. You want to
Yeah,
kind of bouncing around,
that's
you know.
right. That's right. And climb, use your fingers, but in the strap, it's all, you know what? You can almost open your hand. As long
Yeah,
as you got a
yeah,
good bind on that
totally.
strap, yeah, you can just,
Totally.
oh, yeah. You can.
you can even go inside with
And
it,
I'm
bind
not saying don't
inside.
climb. I'm just
I'm
saying
not saying that
be
either.
more static with your movements. Like
That's
everything
right.
sticks. There's no. It's not bouncy. It's not shaky. It's
Mhm.
solid and
And
calculated.
there's one more thing that I noticed, and that was something that I had to correct because it used to block me. And the reason I used to have a hard time finishing guys and always have to come up and press is
Yeah.
because my leg, I used to block myself. And the guys in Montana, a lot of them, they don't focus. They just think everything's above the table. No, how you position your body. Remember, Matt would always, he'd get so pissed at me because I used to pull away from the table or you know what I mean? And that
Yeah,
one leg, I always get that one leg way back and I'd block myself from going sideways. Well, they have to focus on some of that stuff. And I don't know if there's anyone there teaching them that stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Like leg positioning, you know what I mean? What is your objective? Are you hooking? Are you top rolling?
Yeah.
Why are you have your leg blocking? You go sideways and now your leg's blocking your motion going sideways. Or the way you're holding the peg, you're blocking yourself with your arm. Like, there was just a lot of like little
A lot of
amateur,
the basics.
a lot of
Like
the basic stuff. Yeah, but it's like they just think everything is power through and they don't realize that there's other aspects, right? Weight distribution with your body, getting under the table so you can use your weight along with your power, right? And stuff like that. I mean, it's all stuff that's helping me now too, right? So,
yeah,
yeah, it's like people think everything is just here on the table. Like no, it's your legs, it's your positioning, it's your, you know what I
well,
mean? It's everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, but thinking about the recent matches I've seen and like the recent events and stuff, I mean, I can't wait to see some stuff going on here in Alberta soon. I want to see some big cool stuff like the Garage League. I want to see stuff like that here in Alberta.
Yeah, I think
I
so too.
really like that stuff. I like the Armsgeddon. I like the Garage. I like the Mabo. I liked all that stuff. That was really cool. I really liked it.
I like the small venue atmosphere too. Like I like
Yeah,
the small
nice.
venue, just super
Yeah.
matches. Just you know what? I think that one thing we lack here, we have all the arm wrestling and all the best. Like we could have some of the best matches. And I think if everybody got to see what Alberta has, they would talk like, "Hey, Alberta might be the best province in Canada for arm wrestling." No one talks that way. They say Ontario, Quebec, Ontario. Like the poll that I kind of did, because all the feedback I got from that post I did. Remember that post I said Ontario versus Alberta? Well,
Yeah.
everyone's like, no, Quebec and Ontario are the strongest, or this is the strong. I'm like, well, this is why. So what we need to do is work on production. We need to start actually highlighting the matches and highlighting the athletes and doing more on social media. And that's where we're lacking as a province. The polling part, I think we are. I put us up
We have the
against any
guys. We have the
province.
bullets. Like
Yeah, I would put us up against any province because we have a guy that we could put up against anybody.
we've
That's
got we've got national champs in Alberta, man.
we got world champs in Alberta.
We got world champ. We got a lot going on here, and
Yeah.
I'm
We got
hoping that we get some more stuff rolling here soon.
yeah, no, I agree with
The
you.
thing is Quebec never leaves Quebec,
No, I know.
so
I
they don't
know.
even count.
Well, we don't know, and that
Farouk comes up. Farouk comes up.
yeah, but he's from BC. He's out of BC.
Yeah, he's
Is it Quebec?
Yeah,
Okay,
I
no.
don't think he represents BC though. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got a French name, but it doesn't. You know what I mean? Yeah.
how's the chat looking? Anything?
That's been good. Lots
It's
of stuff.
actually really active today.
Very active.
There was
Yeah,
26 people in here at one point.
yeah.
Woo!
20 still. Yeah, we're up to
Getting
26.
nervous, stage fright, but
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'll be okay.
Well, actually, we got some good pullers in there too. Yeah. We got some
Yeah.
good pullers. Actually, one guy I want to get on the show eventually is Dan Plexman.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I've been bugging him. One of these days, Dan, you're just gonna message me and say, "Hey, I'm ready for the show."
Ready?
I'd like to. He's actually I watched him pull. You know, he's a really, really, really good puller, man. Like,
Oh
really,
yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah. He's good. He's really, really good, man.
yeah. You know, I'd love to hear his story. You know what I mean? But that's another thing too. I like to get these guys on so we can hear their story.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
It
I
was like
love
when we
it.
had Perry on.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
Perry's story. It's a good story, man.
It was a good story. Yeah, and we only got a little bit. I bet you when next time we have him on, there'll be lots he didn't tell us last time.
Oh, speaking of that, you remember Chris Gallant who pulled
Yeah, I know him. Yeah.
at Battlezone last year? He
Pulled
called
the
me
last
out.
2 years, I think.
He
Yeah.
called me out, hey.
Wow. He's strong, buddy. That'd be
I
good.
know. I was like, why are you calling me out?
Yeah, but it'd be good for you. Win or lose, bro. That's a good match for you because at least it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I've heard. That's what
Yeah.
I'm watching.
I don't know. Like he actually is really strong and his hand is steel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've watched him for a little while actually. Yeah.
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 Dan
I
said
think that'd be
next
good for
week
you.
we'll have to message Dan and figure something out. He seems down to come on.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's awesome. Good.
But
Good.
yeah, no, so I might talk to Perry. I know that Chris is way lighter than me. But I would pull him in like an exhibition at the next battle zone, or I know he called me out on like the Mac thing because he pulled there or whatever, or he won't just. But I told him we were messaging. I'm like, hey, I'd have a match with you. I
Oh, yeah.
like, I don't need to win. I don't need to lose. I just want to pull. I just like pulling.
What's wrong with
I'm
that?
not too. If he's not too picky on the weight, then I'm not too picky because he told me he's like, I just want to have battles with people I think I could have battles with, and he thinks that my style would be a good challenge for him.
I agree. You're very. I'm not gonna say anything else. You're very.
Because he's quite hand dominant as well from what I've seen and what I've watched. And he ran right through Paul Andrews. And I know that was an off day for Paul because when I was watching that match, I was like, Paul, this isn't Paul.
I felt Paul 100%. I don't think Paul. I think Paul
Stylistic too.
Yeah,
what we
the
saw.
leverage, right? But here's the
The
thing:
leverage is a big disadvantage to
I
Paul.
think Paul has as much disadvantage. Like Chris had leverage advantage the same way I would have a leverage advantage on Chris if we pulled. I think
Yeah,
my arm's quite a
I
bit.
don't think you have a huge. I think you're only going to have about a half an inch.
but
His
here's
arms are
the
that
thing.
long.
Yeah, he's surprisingly got a long lever.
Here's the thing, Brian. Though, but if that guy's used to using his lever advantage,
Yeah,
once
I know
it's
what you
gone,
mean. Once it's gone, once you don't have that, I know what you're saying.
once you don't have that advantage, and then Dakota has it, I think right off the bat there, I got to give Dakota the advantage
Yeah,
because
I
he's going
agree.
to be the one on the high ground.
Yeah, especially when you're used to always having the high ground, and then all of a sudden now you're got to arm wrestle without that, right? No,
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so that might be an exhibition match of mine that comes in the future.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun. Yeah.
Well, I'm hit with a dilemma. Ian and Mark McPhail and those guys, I was talking to them. I was talking to Ian again yesterday. He wants me to do a super match in December in Cape Breton. And actually, you know what? I wouldn't mind going east just for a vacation or something. I mean,
Yeah.
but I wanted Sean Ross, and he said I can have Sean Ross because I want Sean Ross because I've pulled him and I just want to see if if I've leveled up. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I think I can beat him now for sure. I do. I really do. But he wants me to pull some other guy, but I've never heard of him or never seen him. So it's like, but he says if I really want the Sean match, that he'll try to make that one work. But it'd be an honor to have a super match with Sean Ross because I've watched him now. I've been studying him. I lost to him once. So for me, it'd be to get that one back would be nice. Because I didn't sleep. I ref for, and I don't like excuses, but I'm using it because I ref for 10 hours and I didn't sleep the night before. And I had the estrogen of a freaking menopause woman. It was like I had like a 145 estradiol at the time. It was horrible. I was getting night sweats. Oh, it was bad, bad, man. Bad. I wasn't
Sorry,
sleeping for like
I
weeks
should
at a
laugh,
time.
but
Yeah, but it was bad. But yeah, so yeah, definitely don't fuck with your hormones, people, because you can get pretty screwed up.
yeah.
But I still stopped him, and I felt like if I was 100% that day, I could have beat him. So
You could have pulled in the female class that day.
I could have. I could
Yeah.
have. Yeah.
Levels would have let you. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was too funny. Yeah, Battlezone's a hoot every year, and I'd love to have a super match there one time. I've never had a Battlezone super match, so
No, me either. You have to. The problem is with Battlezone, you have to win the contender, right? So
yeah. Well,
hopefully
I mean,
this year we can do really good in our classes, and you know,
yeah,
because if you win here, you can always go out to Nova Scotia and go for the belt in Nova Scotia too, right?
for sure. No, because that's the thing. Like, there's a lot of good pullers out there too.
There is. They're strong. They're
Yeah.
strong. Loggers and shit. And
It's cool. It's cool that like Alberta has its roots where we have like a few leagues that kind of link up everywhere. Like Battlezone links us with Nova Scotia.
yeah,
Armageddon now links us south
yeah, Montana.
beyond. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah. No, I hear you.
cool to see.
Oh,
But yeah, I mean, there's just lots going on too lately. It's getting to the point where you got to pick and choose what you want to do
yeah,
because if you don't and you just try and do everything, you're gonna explode.
yeah.
You got to pull in both arms, so you can do one arm one thing, one arm the other thing, one arm.
Oh, you know what? I don't even think I can do the Ian thing. I think I'm going to Vegas with you guys.
Yeah, you better come to Vegas. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a hoot. Jerry
Yeah,
versus Levon. Ain't
yeah,
gonna announce that.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy,
I
man.
don't,
Crazy.
but
I think if Jerry can get the stop, I think he can do it though.
I'm excited to meet Levon when he's in competition shape because I met him not competition shape, and I know it's gonna be a different guy.
Brian, are you driving down
to Vegas?
Yeah,
Maybe I was gonna fly. How long is it? Pretty long drive though, isn't it?
it's not that long.
22 hours.
Holy shit!
Do that in 2 days easy. I'll drive with you.
You could do that in 22 hours.
Yeah, well, yeah, you could just swap off, right?
Yeah.
Be hard for me to sleep though. I'd have to. I use a CPAP machine to sleep. So, yeah.
Just hook it up to the cigarette lighter.
Yeah, just hook it
That's
up to
true.
that.
That's true.
Yeah,
the one nice thing about driving is having a vehicle when you get there and not having to rent.
Yeah, yeah.
Like for me, like, well, I'm usually pretty lucky because with Matt and Sean, we just split it. But like, if I have to get a rental because I'm under 25, they just like try and scam me like crazy.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, try to get you extra fees, extra insurances,
in Toronto because I had to get the rental there for the family, and
so
it
good
was
for me
like
there.
I think it was 225 extra bucks because I was under 25.
Really?
It was almost double the rental price because I was under 25.
I ended up paying $300 for 9 days and I had a Jeep Grand Cherokee. It was so awesome. They had it ready for like as soon as I got out of the plane, I just walked through the airport to the Enterprise, and
Yeah.
they just goes, "Here's the key," and he walked me to the vehicle, and I drove away, and I was like, "This is awesome." Then you drive back and you just drop it off, and you go right into the airport. It's a pretty good gig, man. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was good.
Everyone's saying Vegas is cheap to fly. Yeah, we know, but Zach doesn't like flying, so he's trying to find a way down
Yeah,
there.
but I don't either. I have anxiety and panic attacks, but I still done it, so I think Zach could do it too.
I've done
Zach's
it.
flown lots before, just
I've
not
flown
anymore.
lots.
Oh, well then, come
Don't
on.
want to do it anymore.
Oh, it's not that bad. I'm big and I don't even fit in the seats, and I get all claustrophobic and shit. So you'll be calmer than I am. You'll be like calming me down. Yeah,
I was telling Zach just to load up on some melatonin.
yeah, that works. It mellows you out. Actually, ashwagandha. You take a
Oh,
couple
ashwagandha,
ashwagandha.
you'll be
Yeah.
like stone face on the plane, man.
Oh, it just kills all your cortisol. Yeah, you have
Yeah.
no stress hormone. Yeah. I had to
I'll
take it for a
drive.
while,
It's
man.
not that bad. 22 hours. I'll do that in a day.
It's not a 22-hour flight. It's like two.
No, 22-hour drive. I'll do that in a day.
Yeah, no, I think it's 2.5, 3 hour flight. Not bad.
Are you sure? Because it's only 3.5 to go to Ontario, and that's 3,700 kilometers. Yeah.
It's a little bit closer than Ontario, but the flight feels pretty much the same.
Oh, does it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2 hours and 45 minutes, something like that.
Last time I flew, I sat on the plane 10 hours before we took off because they had a problem with the air oxygen
If you could sit in the airport for 10 hours, you can sit in the car for 10 hours. Easy.
Oh no, I can do it. I can drive. It doesn't kill me to drive.
I'd love to go to
that. I'm not complaining.
Love to be there, man.
Yeah. Well, we got time to work on it, buddy.
We just won't drive back. We'll just stay in Vegas.
We got to buy the VIPs still. We still got to pay for the VIPs.
Fuck.
We got to get
GoFundMe for my VIP in Vegas.
We could, you know what we could do? We could do a through the fingers 50-50 draw to help fund us go to Vegas. Yeah. And then the winner gets a huge pot. Yeah. We'll just e-transfer to him.
We could.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's a fundraiser, man. So
imagine what footage we'd get. We get all the behind the scenes shit.
Exactly.
We look like a professional crew and everything.
Yeah, yeah. Dang, Perry has a lot of super matches already set up. Yep, Perry does. Zane Lewis just said that
Perry's got a bunch.
He's got a bunch always.
I know Mason and Kenny Snow need to pull because that was the.
I give that one to Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kenny, I was surprised when Kenny beat Sean.
Kenny's badass, man. And
yeah,
I don't think Mason can flash him. Maybe he
can. Him in the tournament that day.
Yeah, I know, but you give Kenny a couple rounds to figure it out, man. I don't know. That guy's really good.
If Sean would have let go of the peg, he would have beat him.
I know. He would have. Yeah, I know.
Oh, I always bug him about that.
I know.
Just comes up randomly.
Yeah. And that would have been you know what? And I think I give that one to Sean because if he didn't, he would have won. Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Like he was there and he took his hand off and then they stopped.
I know. Poor Sean.
It's okay.
But Kenny, look at the size of him. He was only 230 in that match.
I know. Yeah.
I don't know, Kenny. I'm really impressed by that guy. I don't know why he doesn't pull more or try to get out there more because he could go on the North American rankings, no problem at his weight. Pulling 225. Oh yeah.
Because he was making 225.
He beat Len Houghton in a super match the year before when I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, at like 240. He was 240 for that match.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and Len, like he was catching Len's hit like up here. Like it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's not easy.
I mean, Len's a beast, right? His hit is
totally.
I'm scared of Len's hit. I've been lucky. I haven't had to pull him yet. So yeah.
Jacob Lee is pulling Chris Gallant in Hinton. Oh, well, there you have it, I guess. I'll pull Chris up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Pull him left arm.
I think
His left's good
Chris
too.
beats Jacob Lee.
Yeah.
Jacob's really good. Like Jacob's really, really, really good.
Chris is really good too.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for that match. That's exciting.
It could be a good match. Yeah.
Because Chris has got leverage on Jacob. It's
It'd
a
be
matter of
interesting.
Chris has to make Jacob feel enough, like feel uncomfortable in the setup enough that he doesn't want to hit full power.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Jacob's
that
hips.
would suck. That would suck.
We got to get Dale to come to Vegas with us.
Well,
He wants to. He wants to, but I don't know. Like, you see,
That would be fun. Dale and
Dale's on
Vegas
a
would be
level
bad
up.
news.
He's on a huge level up right now, man. I'm telling you. I haven't seen Dale like this. Like, listen, I've been kind of Dale's training partner since I started arm wrestling. So, and I have never seen Dale this strong. Like, and he's not even done. He's getting stronger.
I know all them Kootenai boys were picking on Dale, and I'm like, we got to be careful, guys. Like he could probably beat all of us in a row right now. Like he's good.
I will say he's feeling crazy.
He felt better than I've ever felt him anytime I've ever arm wrestled him when I after pulled him in Montana.
Oh, dude, he felt crazy.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I told Dale because you know why? Because Dale used to train just for an event, so he'd go like up to about here where he's like really strong inside and shit, and then good top rollers might beat him, but and then he would kind of dip down, but now the last year or the last 6 months he's made training a way of life, where he doesn't miss. He's just looking at this is my life, and I'm training like this, and I'm gonna do PRs every Friday or every Sunday and I'm not going to stop. I'm going to make it. And now it's like Dale has the opportunity to actually hit a level that he's already stronger than he's ever been in his career. I guarantee it. But he's going to go even higher because now next week we're going for a 230 PR, me and him. So, and we're going to
Nice.
try in the next 2 months to hit 250 on the strict curl. So
My dad commented, "When is Vegas?" I know it's in December, Dad.
it
As
is
soon as I know, I'll
December,
let you know. He asks me this like every night.
yeah. And then you're like, I don't know. I know it's
You always
December.
forget.
I know it's in December.
Hey, Raj.
I think after King of the Table 12, they'll probably announce when 13 is.
Oh, and I want to say thank you, Roger, if you're watching still. Actually, you telling me to get mad helped me in my match. It did. I didn't want to let you down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, your dad looked at me, he goes, Brian. And I looked at him and I'm like, he's like, get mad. I'm like,
You're
and
like,
then I had
okay,
you.
sir.
Yeah. I'm like,
Fired
okay.
up, bud.
Yeah. And then you guys just gave me the speech before that. So, so I was like, oh, I'm mad, man. I'm mad. I'm gonna kill him.
It's funny. My dad tells everyone to get mad, then he pulls. He's never mad. He's just like,
Oh, he did good. Your dad's great. He's like one of the best people to have rooting for you, man. Like it's
oh,
awesome.
yeah, no, he's good.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty awesome having Roger in our corners, man. So yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Actually, Zane put a good comment out too. He said that Zach should test himself. I think Zach's having
That
issues now, but Zach should test himself against Jacob, Chris, Paul, and Steph.
I
That's a
agree.
really good class for Zach.
It is. And Zach's a lot higher than Zach is. Like Zach, his confidence hasn't been there. But you know what? His level is Zach is so technical.
Oh,
Like
yeah, man.
in that weight class, I don't see like it would take a big name to beat Zach in that weight class.
Oh, it would. It would.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if like Dustin Leach shows up too, that class is insane. Like you got
Yeah.
Jacob Lee, Steph Haru,
Yeah.
Chris Gallant, Paul Andrews, Dustin Leach, Bodan's usually at those ones. Zach,
Zach's
like
in there. Zach's in
even if
there.
Zach gets a third in that, like
Yeah.
because Dustin's a national champ right now, and I think Jacob, Chris, and Steph are all probably favorites against Dustin Leach.
Mm-hmm.
I
think
know
Zach could give him a go too, believe it or not.
Oh yeah, Zach, because Zach pulls
He
perfectly.
pulled, yeah. He's like, there's no holes.
Yeah,
Zach doesn't have a lot of holes. That's the thing.
His style for Dustin is really, really good.
Well, he'll match Dustin in all those areas. That's why it's good.
And Zach's hand, like it's not big, but like
No.
it's good.
But he's learned how to use it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And I remember when he used to just lose the hand all the time. I was like, dude, if you train cup and you train your rise, I'm like, and he started doing that, and I'm like, yeah, you leveled up.
Yeah, because
That's all he had to do.
his high knuckle top roll when he flashes guys now, it's impressive.
Yeah, man. Like
Yeah,
Nicholas Abel,
yeah. You seen the way he flashed him?
just damn. He came up to us. He came up to us because I was in his corner. He's like, dude, my hand's blowing up a little bit. And I'm like, okay, we'll just flash pin him then. You won't have to worry about your hand. And then he just
Yeah.
boom. And I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
that's the way to do it, I guess, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I
No.
know. You know, that's why I think super matches are really good for us and why I like them is because you know what? You can actually picture the match ahead of time. You can think of scenarios. You can train specifically for his skill set.
Mm.
And it's like, I don't know, man. Like the pinnacle is super matches. I mean, I know a lot of guys are going to argue and say no tournaments, and I think tournaments, I think it does help you, like especially in the first few years of growth. But that precise training, I mean, there is something to it, just to a certain skill set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
No,
you know what's coming.
I think it's a better display. Oh, my dad said find out, and they said perfect, Brian. I'm surprised he figured out how to comment, to be honest. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But what was I saying? Oh, a super match is like you can really see the technicalities of people a lot better. Like someone can be really good and get screwed in a tournament where you can't really get screwed in a super match. If you get screwed in a super match, it's because you didn't prepare well enough or the other person prepared way better than you.
Well, yeah, and tournaments. I mean, like I'm whining again about one bad tournament, but Hinton, because I love Battle Zone so much, I did poorly. The brackets it does suck sometimes, man. Like, like out of all the people I could have faced in my bracket, I got Solomon, and I got Sean Ross, first round 1 and 2. I could have had Pistol Pete. I could have had Jay Smith. I could have had stylistically better people for my polling style. Instead,
Yeah.
I got inside guys, So
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the way it goes, which
yeah,
sucks. The
brackets
worst
suck.
is when
Yeah.
the worst part is the other thing too that people don't always think about is you got to pay to go in a tournament. Usually,
Yep,
if you're a super match in it, you're not paying.
that's right. Yeah. Zero
Like,
cost. Yeah.
yeah, which is
Yeah.
also nice. You
But I
don't
don't
read.
mind putting up money either. You know what? I'm regretting not going 2000 with Chuck.
Yeah,
He said 2000 when he first told me. I was like, 2000? I'm like, I don't know if I'm 2000 confident, right? Because I didn't know anything about the guy, right? So
I should have went like for $10 million against Dalton. Then I would
yeah.
have worked anymore.
Well, it was funny because Stu, right before the match, Stu said, he goes, do you want to go 500 more? And he pulled out the money. And then Chuck was like, no, 250 is good, man. I'm like, damn. Yeah, almost.
I'm sad. Like, nah. I mean, it was smart on Dalton's side, I guess, to not put money up. But I'm sad that there was no money put up for that because
You know what? We'll set up precedents because next Armageddon, we'll just automatically have wagers. I'll
yeah,
put
I
money
think we
away for
should.
it. I'll save for it. Yeah.
We'll talk to Dion and we'll just be like, there
Yeah.
has to be some sort of money on the table. It just made
Yeah.
like for the main card, I think.
Hmm.
Like prelims, I get it, but even now thinking back to like WAL and stuff, like the cash on table makes it a lot
Yeah.
more intense. Even
Oh,
your match, because there was cash on the table,
was
and
really crazy.
Hunter and Daryl's match, like
Yeah.
you could feel the tension of having
The
money on.
money on the table. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I didn't
And it's
think of
nice.
it. Yeah, but
Yeah, it's nice for the camera, right?
it is. Yeah, I
To
agree.
have it in the corner. It's cool. You just set it in the middle of the table. It's funny how you can just have money sitting in the middle of the table. It never really gets pushed or anything. Like, yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. Well, when the money's just sitting there on the table, it's better for the viewing audience because they're like looking at that cash and they're going, "Oh, who's going to get the cash?" Right?
Who's gonna get the
Yeah,
money?
remember WAL? You'd see that big stack of money on the table, and it was just
Yeah.
like, "Fuck, I want that money."
I know it's like I need to get better at this. And then it
Yeah,
shows a video of Todd Hutchings climbing a rope behind his head, and
his
you're like,
head,
oh,
like
never
yeah, like
mind.
this. I'm
Yeah.
like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're like,
that's
okay,
a hard one to top.
he's good.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's like, yeah. If I had to pull him, if I seen a video of Chuck doing that before my match, I would have shit myself. I would have been like, what?
That's like Eugene though too, man. He posts
Yeah.
all the videos on his thing. I
Yeah.
actually like what he's doing with his coaching thing. I think he's going the right route with it,
Oh, he is. It's
which is
positive. It's influential too, and it's
it's very
positive.
influential. And
And he's not making money off of just sharing it, but he's sharing the knowledge openly with everybody.
yeah, he just posts it half the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Super sweet.
A lot of guys are like, "Oh, I'm not giving him my secrets. You can pay me 150 a month for that shit." You know what I mean? It's like, no, thank you. You know? Yeah. Yeah. No, we all don't want to hit the same way. Imagine that everyone just hit the same way in Alberta because one guy trained us. You know what I mean? Like it
It
would
starts
suck.
calling us Montana, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, just kidding. They all
Yeah.
hit different, but they all like the hook down there.
They do like that inside shit. But they have to get there. And the problem is we have good hands and it's not easy to put us in a hook.
Yeah, true enough.
Right. I mean,
That's
that's
what,
something we all share, you know, Dakota. We
yeah,
all share, all us guys in Red Deer all have really good hands, man. Most of us anyway. There's a few outliers, but
yeah, true enough.
you know,
Yeah, we know how to use them too. And I think, well, oh, okay. I was gonna say this earlier, but I forgot. I'm thinking about it. When we were talking about the hand blow up thing,
yeah.
a really good way I feel like to condition your hand is to pull someone. Well, first off, pull someone with a bigger hand than you. But second of all, go in the strap and like really tighten the strap.
Yeah.
Because the tighter you do the strap, the dominant hand always prevails.
Yeah, it does
And
seem. Yeah.
the hands just blow up more with the tighter strap because of the blood flow restriction and everything. So if
Yeah.
you want to work on hand conditioning, find someone with a better hand than you and go pull them in a tight strap. Even
Yeah.
if it feels weird and maybe not positionally the best, just do what you normally would do, but just your hand will dump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing, a little tip for people too in practice, you know, you don't have to be a pinning practice champ. Like you don't have to pin everybody and act like it's a match every time you go to practice. You know, there's nothing wrong with slowly loading with the guy you're training with. And you know what? If you're a little better and you take the guy's hand, just nod at him, let him know that, hey, I got you. Go back to center again, do it again. Just, you know, just like make it so both people, no matter who's stronger, get something out of the practice pool as well. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean that's what we do, right? Dakota, we work with each other, right? Like, you know, and I think that's another reason why our level is going up a lot faster than maybe some people's is because we practice properly, right?
Yeah. Well, and like you just gotta throw your pride out the door. You'll see that with
Yeah,
a lot of
no
new guys
pride.
or
Yep.
people that don't train much, or they'll come in, they'll try and beat everybody. They can't beat everybody, and then they're like, you can see like the frustration, but it's a humbling experience. But you just have to let it happen.
Yeah. When I
Because
started, I was like that. Remember, I'd always be crying when I left, couldn't lift my arm, and oh yeah, it was, you know, and
dude,
then I learned just, you know what, just trust the process. And you're right, swallow your pride. Who cares?
yeah,
It's practice. Yeah.
I remember it being -30 outside, and I'd be sitting in Mass Garage, just getting like all the secondhand smoke.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
wasn't used to it back then.
Yeah,
And
you're all
I would
green.
just sit in the corner after I arm wrestled for like 10 minutes, and I would just hold my arms like this. Because if I moved, it hurt so bad. My tendons ached. I would go
Oh, my
home and I
back.
would,
Oh,
oh, I just remember going and laying in my bed, and I would just lay with my arms like this.
yeah.
And I didn't want to move them. And I was like, oh. And then like Matt would call another practice. That was when I was in school still. So all I did was like work out and study. And I was like, oh yeah, I get to get out of the house, go train. Arms would hurt so bad.
Well, yeah, I remember leaving Stu because I go to a lot of the practices my first year were at Stu's too. So I'd always go on the Sundays. And I'd be outside the barn with like a bag of like snow on my arm, just holding it there and just hoping I can go back in and pull a little more. And then Christian Dell was like, "Hey man, have you ever heard of this ibuprofen shit?" I'm like, "Ibuprofen?" I'm like, "You mean Advil?" He's like, "Yeah, pop two or three of them extra strength before practice." And then all of a sudden, I was like, I came to practice, and this shit's horrible, so I don't recommend it because it eats your gut. So don't take the shit, guys.
Oh
But
yeah, I can't
I
take it on an empty stomach,
yeah,
man.
but I took two or three ibuprofen one day, and all of a sudden, I was a beast at practice, and I didn't get sore. I was like, "Yeah, this is awesome." Next day, oh, cried like a little baby. Oh, it was horrible. Yeah, I had my arm in the air all like for 2 days, and I had ice packs on my arm, and oh,
Well, I saw a video where Michael Todd says he pops two before a tournament, which makes sense. Like before
yeah, because it
competition, I could see
keeps
it.
your hand from blowing up.
But
And feels
yeah, no,
lubricating.
I can only have Advil if I have like the off-brand ibuprofen, and especially like okay, this is not arm wrestling related at all, but I was at Big Valley Jamboree and I had like had no food all day, just straight beer, and I took like two just of the no-name ibuprofens, and it just like cut my guts so
Oh
bad. Like,
yeah,
oh, I
it
felt
bleeds. It
so
actually
bad.
bleeds when you take
Yeah,
that
you
shit.
can get GI bleeding and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, you get like
So
leaky gut syndrome. That
yeah,
shit.
just make sure you take it with lots of food when you take it.
Yeah,
Even if
I
for
agree.
arm wrestling purposes, like if you're taking it to not get inflamed, just keep that in mind, guys.
Yeah,
For
it definitely does keep the pump out though. I've had it. My hands went an extra couple rounds just because of the ibuprofen for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Hey,
That's why
brother,
I like the diclofenac though, because it's
I haven't
like
tried it. I heard, didn't that what they have in the States or whatever?
you can get it here. You can get a prescription for it. All it is it's a topical ibuprofen, pretty much is all it is.
Okay.
So you just put it on the spot. So like if you're wherever sore, you just rub it on. And I have like the strong stuff. It's like 10%, and it's you don't have to worry about the GI tract issues, but you
Yeah.
can just rub it on, and it
And it
does the same
works
thing.
still. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
just put it directly on is all.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the only one I'm not taking anymore is B100. That's my that's I recommend if you want energy and you're working out, B100 vitamin is great. But if you don't want to blow up in a match, don't take that shit.
That's like creatine, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, like a lot of people are like, oh, creatine working out, you keep water better, whatever. But like
Yeah.
I've heard that you just blow up like
Blow up.
crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Gnarly pump.
Yeah. Like provincials, I pinned one guy, I flash pinned him, and my hand exploded. And the same guy I flash pinned didn't even feel his arm. I flashed him. And I don't flash people usually. And the next time I had no hand at all, and the guy beat me. I'm like, what happened? I beat you in 10 set, like 0.10 tenth of a second. And then now I can't do shit. And so yeah, the blow up's a real thing, man, for sure.
Totally.
What about you, Zach? How do you prep? Like right before a tournament or anything, do you take ibuprofen or do you do anything special?
I don't anymore. I try not to drink too much water. Because having a bunch of extra water in your body's like, oh, we got all this extra water. May as well add this blood flow.
Okay,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
not saying dehydrate yourself by any means. You want to be hydrated and you want to have a lot of electrolytes. But free active water, you don't want too much free water.
Mhm.
I don't at least because I pump up kind of quick.
You know what's funny is I never thought about the water thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just because having water in your system is one thing, but having water that you just drank
Hmm.
is a little different because your body won't sit there and digest that water.
Hmm.
It
But
doesn't.
being overly hydrated before a
Yeah,
match.
so you don't necessarily want just enough water so you're not over pumping. If you drink a fuck ton of water before a match, you're
Mhm.
gonna pump, guaranteed.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
capacity,
Really?
you're
Yes, I didn't know that. I
See,
really
I handle water really well. I could drink a lot and that doesn't affect my pump or nothing.
it should directly affect your pump.
Hmm. I usually try and have a little bit of sugar right before and a little bit of electrolytes, like a Powerade.
Yeah,
I always slam a green Powerade.
that's really good for hydration levels. Like keep your hydration up for sure. Like being hydrated is totally good. It's just when you're like when you're working out like at the gym and saying you're doing bicep curls, right? You're doing bicep curls. Do that at the gym and don't drink any water. Okay.
yeah,
Do
yeah,
10
yeah.
sets of 20, let's say. Do a bunch. Do the same thing, but after every set, chug a good amount of water. By the end of it, you're going to have such a crazy pump in your arm. You're going to be like, holy shit. But that is an extreme example, obviously.
Yeah,
See, when
yeah.
I go to the gym, I'll drink two of my Gatorade green bottles, and I feel like it doesn't affect my pump.
Oh,
Have you ever tried going to the gym and not drinking anything at all?
No,
Try
no.
that and see what happens.
Okay, because I always get like when I go to the gym every day, that's where I get probably 80% of my water intake. I'll probably have 3 liters of water.
It could be that you've been training with water so much
Yeah.
that your body's learned that it just retains a lot now, so it doesn't have that free water I'm talking about. Isn't free. Your body's retaining it.
Yeah, Dan said it directly affects your blood pressure, so that could have something to do with it too.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I know it directly affects it in some way. I don't know the science behind it or anything.
I'm
I
always
know
loaded up on water though, unless I'm cutting or something. I drink so much water, like I never have
I'm
to.
usually on the lower side. I'm usually on the slightly underwater. I drink a lot, but I piss it out too quick.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, you know what? That's why these conversations are good, because I didn't even know. I didn't know nothing about. I never thought about water intake.
Oh, it makes it like Dakota was saying, when you drink sugar, like sugary water is the best, especially if you're doing with electrolytes,
Yeah.
because sugar bypasses your intestine. So if you want to bypass the intestinal wall and get hydration as fast as possible, you need sugar with your water.
I know
Well, and
sodium does that too. Yeah.
sugar's just nice to have if you're going into a match too, because like
You get a short term.
my gym teacher always used to say like
Your blood.
sugar. If you have lots of sugar and then you work out, you're gonna crash, but you'll be fine for the workout. Just because you
Yeah.
want to get something in you that you can keep. Like Dale should have had a chocolate bar before he pulled Niles, because after round one, he looked like he was gonna explode.
Yeah.
I thought his eyes were going to come out of his head the first
He's
round.
literally like this. He's like, I was like, my dad looked at me. He's like, get that man some water. So I just grabbed a random water bottle. I was like, here you go, Dale.
Drink it, Dale. Drink it.
Yeah. And you know what's funny? Someone just posted about kidney stones. I'm bad for not drinking enough water. Like I've actually thought about it. I've been like, I hardly drank any water for the last week. Well, all of a sudden I had a kidney stone recently. And number one cause is if you're lacking in water and hydration, for one, your body will retain more because it thinks it's not going to get enough. And for two, somehow kidney stones are a thing. I had to start drinking lots of water too. And soon as I started being hydrated and drinking lots of water, all my kidney stones went away. But I passed like 3 in like a week. And that's not fun, man. That's not fun at all. Believe me.
That's wild because like my
I'll
mom's
take your word.
No, I just somebody posted it, so it's kind of weird because I just had that recently. Like a few months ago, I passed one.
I
And
remember
it
you
was
talking
brutal.
about that.
Yeah, it was brutal, man. Like, oh,
That negatively affects your arm wrestling. I can guarantee it.
it negatively affects everything.
Kidney stones. Yeah. Oh God, I don't even want to
You
think
can't
about
focus on the arm wrestle when,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
that,
yeah.
dude. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That somehow it
Passed
relates
it
to arm
before this
wrestling.
match.
Yeah. 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 So what else? Any ideas on super matches? I've been trying to brainstorm some super matches lately. Good combos and
I got a couple I'll talk to you guys about after we end the live. I got a couple
okay.
got about quick.
Good.
Oh, okay.
Good. I got one too. That's really important, and I think it would be a good one for shell shock.
Can we talk about shell shock?
I think so.
And that's what I'm
I
wondering.
don't know. He never said not to or whatever. But I mean,
well,
we are going to try to have him on. So
Are we gonna have Josh on Tuesday?
yeah, I asked him. He
Let's
hasn't
hold off
replied
till
yet.
Tuesday then. Let's hold off till Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll hold off till Tuesday. Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll hold off.
But
I'm not going to bring up the match then.
Yeah.
no, we won't bring it up. Skip.
All right, guys. You'll find out Tuesday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
But there's something exciting. Well, we can talk about shell shock, I think.
I think so. Oh yeah, we can definitely promote it.
So Josh DeVoe is having a powerlifting event, I think.
Yep, it's that's 4th year now, I think, or something. I think it's Shell Shock 4.
And it's in Edmonton, right?
Yeah, this year it's in Edmonton.
Yeah.
I think it was in Drayton Valley before.
Yeah, and he's having some arm wrestling matches this time.
Yeah. Or at least he wants to. Yeah, I guess some matches fell through, so
we'll get some matches either way.
Yeah, we'll figure something.
Good ones too.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's a good, I mean, you know what? I don't know. I think it's open entry too. So if you're really strong and you want to test your luck in a powerlifting contest, that'd be the one. It's got some big sponsors, big names there. So Dakota, you got a big deadlift in you or what?
Dude, my cousin Justin should go pull it or should go do that, man. He's crazy. He's got some good. He's the big 3. He can lift them really well.
Yeah, the big 3. That's what I think it's going to be. It's going to be deadlift, squat, and bench.
Yeah, because he actually wants me to go working out with him tomorrow. I gotta check, see if I can tomorrow night. I might go with him, but he always makes me squat, bench, or deadlift, man. And he's lifting like you bench a lot too, Brian. So this won't sound as crazy to you, but he's like warm. I'm like, oh, like what are you warming up with? He was warming up with like 315.
That's big. That's big.
I was like, put half a plate on for me, buddy.
I don't warm up with 315. I don't.
You know that video of SpongeBob where he's like, he's got like the stick arms, he's benching those teddy bears.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's me on the bench.
I'm Larry the Lobster.
Zane
I
just
got
asked
them
in
fake
general
arms that
terms.
you blow up.
Yeah, Zane just asked in general terms, what is shell shock? It's basically a powerlifting competition.
It's a
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle theme song.
Yeah.
In general terms.
Yeah. That's a good one.
But yeah, no, I'm excited to speaking like getting back on that press and side pressure a little bit. Like you
Yeah.
can kind of see in the corner. I have my table set up at home now. It's like the pulley system. So I can start working on being inside again. I got everything moved back, so that's nice.
Well, that's good because you know what we got coming soon, and I'm going to make sure one comes to Red Deer. Is I got a guy, I told you already, I got a guy that can make the side pressure machines here and right here in Calgary. So right now you can't get a side pressure machine. You have to order it from Europe, and they won't ship it to Canada anyway. They
Yeah.
just refuse. It would cost $1,100 or so. I think it's 700 euros to have it shipped from Poland to here.
Euros are crazy right now, man.
Yeah.
I didn't realize the only thing worse than a euro is a Great Britain pound, which is like
Yeah, it was
2 to 1.
2.2. Yeah, it's 2.2.
Ugh. I had like a $6 meal in London, and it was like $14. I was like, oh,
You're like, I thought it was cheap.
I was like, oh, 6. Check
Yeah,
the visa. It's like, oh,
yeah.
it's not
I don't
cheap.
know. I don't know, man. No, I was just watching, you always watch Travis on the side pressure machine and shit. But I also see a lot of the Bulgarians, like Plamen and those guys. They use the side pressure machine all the time. A lot of the Europe champions are all using the side pressure machine. I mean, I think it's a tool that I think it's a must-have. I
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
yeah.
No,
So,
I would agree. I've always wanted to try. I've genuinely never used one. Like this is the closest I've ever had to like a.
yeah, I do. Do you? Oh, and okay, so hey, up. So are you doing a fixed pulley, or are you got doing high pulley? Can you adjust it?
I'll have to turn this computer. Hold on, I can show you. I just don't. So it's okay.
Kind of there. I see it.
Oh,
Kind of.
1 second, 1 second. I'll turn this on. But it's John Blurton used to make these, but it's
Okay.
one pulley that comes
Out the
from
bottom.
the bottom,
Yeah, yeah.
so I can do like rise and
And you
stuff.
do your rise, your back pressure.
And then, oh, I wish I could show this better.
But I can see it though, kind of a
This
little
is
bit.
a swivel. Like you can swivel it.
Yeah, that's good. You want that. Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
not pulling off the roller every
And
time.
then it's another pivot where I have all the weight on right now. So you can do
Perfect.
this.
Yeah.
You
And
can
you know a
get in there.
I like the high side pressure itself too. You know who uses the high side pressure is Dave Chafee. He uses a lot of his training is from a high cable, and then he will work his side pressure from up high. So, and I've been doing that too. That way you have to be strong enough to drag it down and hold it down, and then you're also now going sideways with it, right? So
Yeah.
it actually mimics more of the direction that someone's going to be pulling on your arm too. So I like it. I like it. High pull.
Clifton Erickson, gentlemen, first time watching from North Dakota. Make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoy Clifton. We love the
Clifton's a
support.
beast.
Yeah.
He's a beast. He's the one that fucked up Ty's fucking elbow.
Oh, that's
Oh, man.
Clifton?
Yeah,
That's the guy?
I think
Oh,
so. Yeah,
cool.
I think
That
so. His
side
side
sounds
pressure,
good.
that guy's got side pressure. I've seen Ty sent me some videos.
That
Good,
guy's
you got a good
crazy.
arm on you, Clifton. You should have been at Armsgeddon. I don't know where you were. Where were you?
Clifton, I want the smoke. I want to feel how
the smoke.
if you're going through Thai like that, I want to feel the side pressure.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, Paige said hi Paige. How are you doing?
yeah.
Ty's a super good dude, man.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's a good
He's
puller
awesome.
too.
He's one of our best pullers, man. And so like
So
beating
technical.
him is crazy. So I definitely want to meet you and grip up with you just
Yeah.
to see because
Ty said he made the mistake because he you know how Ty he gets that lock in when he's going inside. And he
yeah,
said that he locked it because he's always been confident and no one can go through it. but Clifton had so much side pressure that's why Ty actually hurt himself because he went in kind of a bad spot, right? But this guy apparently has a lot of side pressure. So I seen the video too. So
I haven't seen the video, but Clifton's going to be at Armbender. I will be at Armbender as well. I don't know how much I can talk on that, but I will see you there.
So the February one?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, I've heard that the Armbender's fun. It's what I've heard that's a little different. Well, and obviously Dion's he said I've heard a lot of you, Mr. Shipton, will be fun. Yes, I'm super excited, Clifton. It's gonna be awesome to meet you. Where was I? Oh, I've heard about the Armbender is they get a bit more sponsorships, and there's the sponsorships put the cash on the table, which is fun. I'm sure Dion will get to that point eventually.
And they're doing what do they do? They're just doing all the people that competed in Garage Wars. Is that what they're doing, or is it going to
be? They have a little bit more going on, like because they hadn't won last year, so they're going off of that thing from last year, and then I think what I was told was the Garage Wars was scouting in a sense to get some new talent in there. So all the like bigger matches are going to be people like Clifton, and so on who have proven themselves, and they're going to be. But then there's going to be some new matches. Who he said I always pulling John Terrian.
Oh wow!
Well, Clifton and John Terrian.
That'd be good. You know what? I think Clifton can give John a good go, man. He's got.
Me too, man.
He's got the arm.
John's good.
That's gonna be sick. That's gonna be sick to watch.
He's got a lot of side. Clifton's got a lot of side pressure. I wouldn't have went inside with him at all. I would have definitely been attacking that hand going outside with that side pressure.
I'm pumped to be on that card because if I've heard of a few talks for matches, I'm not going to say anything, but my dad said that is a good match.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
But if what they say happens, this will be the biggest card that I've ever been on. Like the biggest names.
Nice.
So that'll be cool.
Yeah. Maybe we'll come support you if we don't get a match.
I'll
get some content.
I can't say who I'm pulling. At least I don't think I can. I don't know.
Clifford just said who he's pulling.
Let's see if Tuesday we can do more announcements. I hope.
Yeah.
Why don't we? Yeah, we don't want to lose all our talking points anyway. So
that's true. Yeah, we did watch pull Jamie Sheldon, man. That was impressive. You looked huge.
Oh yeah.
Huge.
That's what I mean. Is he's got a lot of power, that guy. A lot of strength.
Yeah. Would love to see Alberta versus Ontario. It's coming, man. You know what? That's one of them things. It's
coming for sure.
Somebody is eventually the stars are gonna align for that, and it's gonna be crazy. Because
late next summer, it's something in the works already. Late next
you
summer.
could have 100 matches and they would all be bangers for Alberta versus Ontario.
I think so.
The depth is there for both sides.
Totally.
But the levels can be matched wherever you go.
It'd be helpful if we know who's coming, because then we can match accordingly.
Think about this. I'll say a few fun matches. Probably won't be the matches, but a few fun ones that could happen. Matt and Devin left. Dakota and freaking Auden. Me and Milo. Maybe Pork Chop and freaking Brian.
Dude, Milo's leverage would I like in the nicest way.
I'm ready for Pork Chop yet.
If you can get past Milo's leverage,
yeah.
I'd like to try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because his arm is as long as Matt's. Hey.
It's pretty skinny.
Perfect. I'll get so much post, it'll be over before you can even do anything.
I think
Milo's got to beefing up a bit. Yeah.
And like
he'd have to stay light if he was pulling me under. I probably
I agree.
Top 186.
They have other guys down there that'd be good for you though.
That's fair. I was just thinking of some fun matches, you know.
Oh yeah. Well, no, I'd love that match for you. For sure.
But there's tons of good matches. Yeah, they have some.
I'm thinking right now. I'm at like the Jason Constantini right hand level.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I think that would be good.
Rob Chaos said he was chatting with Miguel LeBlanc or LeBlanc, however you say it.
He's pretty good.
But he matched Zach or Dakota. I pulled him like right when I was at my 1 year point in Toronto-ish, and he beat me. I don't think he beats me anymore, but I'm also a lot heavier than him now.
Yeah.
Him and Zach would be fun, but he's getting some pretty high level matches. So I feel like we could get him a match with Zach, but I don't know if he would do it. Like it, you know what I mean? He would probably be like
Scared to lose to a nobody like me.
You're not nobody. What do you mean a nobody? Your level, I'm telling you, you're right. You're right there, buddy. You're really
I I would like to like we were talking about this while you were off, Zach, but you should pull it a battle zone one
good.
time.
Yeah.
He needs to. He needs to go to Battle Zone.
Because they do 0 to like 180 or something, but all the 160 guys is stacked.
Nice.
Yeah.
That'd be
Like
fun.
that would be the best tournament for you.
Yeah.
Cool. I've been in some like 15, 16 man categories before. It's just usually I go A side so quick that I end up pulling only 3-4 times.
Mhm.
Yeah, but like if there was Jacob Lee,
If I have B side and then I got to work my way back, that'd be kind of fun.
yeah, like Dustin Leach, Paul Andrews, Jacob Lee, Chris Gallant, Steph Haru, like
A
you
couple
have
of those names I don't think I can
There,
cut. But
but there's an idea. You just fucking made a perfect idea. You know, we got to start this year. Maybe we'll do it through the fingers because it'd be easy because we can run it through here. We'll just start doing some round robins.
yeah, that'd be fun.
throw me
Yeah.
in with Dustin Leach, not Kelly Leach.
Yeah, but Kelly's one weight class up.
Yeah, Kelly's
Yeah,
about
exactly. Well, yeah, but I usually sit 20, 30 pounds under that weight class
Mhm.
is the thing, though.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah,
like it might only
gotta
be
worry
one weight
about
class
Kelly.
above me, but
Mhm. Yeah, but you know what? This year I see prosperous horizons for you, Zach, and I think you're going to gain 10 pounds by next summer. I
see
think
the
you're going to be eating like royalty soon.
we
And
go 165 class then. We got to make our own 165 class then
Mm.
because that's what it's gonna have to be. There's a lot of I know a lot of guys that are 165 that if there was a class for them, they'd stay there.
Nicola?
he's pulling an Italian guy. I don't know. Nicola's pulling Miguel. Be interesting to see.
Mm.
But yeah, I don't know. It's exciting. Like there's a lot of fun stuff on the way as this grows too. Like we will be able to do fun things like that, like a through the fingers round robin, like or even getting to sponsor things would be super fun to be able to use this platform. Or even if we, slap our name on a table or something, sponsor it, then we get to interview all the athletes. Like that'd be super.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. And that's coming. All that shit's coming soon. So,
Yeah, come
Oh
on.
yeah,
They all want to see us out there giving interviews and stuff. Come on,
oh,
get
yeah.
after pull footage and behind the scenes stuff at these events.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this year too, like I said, I want to ramp our production up a little bit. I'm gonna
Yeah.
try.
yeah.
To
No,
work on that.
that's one thing like we're gonna work on, guys, too. Like to all the people watching or who see this, like we're gonna eventually be upping things to the point where its production's getting better. We're going to be having more videos posted instead of just the lives, like what we kind of did with the Armageddon matches. Just things like that. But it's coming. It's coming along well. 250 subs. Like I never would have thought we would have even got here. So
Yeah,
No, well, I knew we would. I knew we would, man. We have such a passion for arm wrestling.
yeah. Clifton Erickson said, "You guys going to Billings, Montana, September 14th should be good." We were talking about that. It would be fun to go. That's their state championships.
yeah.
I think it would be super fun to go. He's
Yeah.
weighing 215 right now. So yeah. He said going to do 220 right and 242 right to pull Leaf and Joe. Yeah, Leaf and Joe have felt really
Yeah.
good. Those are
Now
those
their state championships what would be the rep? It wouldn't be like Garage Wars, right? The setup and the reffing.
I think no, but it depends who's reffing. Probably how much you
Probably
get.
closer to Garage Wars than Armageddon.
Okay, the only reason I bring it up is because like Dion was talking about a match with that Clint guy, and I would pull Clint no problem, but I'm not pulling him like that match at Garage Wars.
Is
Right?
that the presser guy?
Yeah. I'll pull him in a like a straight setup.
Yeah.
Because I'll pull him outside his shoulder before he can get his press in. But I mean, if he's just starting in a press, I don't want none of that, right?
Well, it's tough for you too, more than most, because you are a ref and you're a good ref, so that would like really bug you.
Yeah, that is, you're right. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Who's gonna carry the boats and logs? Commented, what you eat arm wrestling. I think meat is important of the diet.
it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Protein.
a big believer in like whatever helps you feel healthy. Like, obviously, if you're cutting or anything like that, then you'll need to eat as you may. But if you're just kind of eating and arm wrestling, just do whatever makes you feel good, I think.
Yeah, yeah, because everybody's a little different. But I think for if you're really ripping and you're doing like really heavy, like could injure yourself kind of training, I think that you need as much protein as you can get in your body. Because you
Yeah,
need
for sure.
yeah, you got to metabolize those proteins to heal properly.
Tell you what, man, there's something that you need to prioritize is healthy fats as well. You want to make sure you have
Yes,
healthy
I
fat.
agree. Yep. Yeah. Unless you're loaded with sugar and your body doesn't know how to use the fat anyway.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's if you're eating healthy, you need a
Hey,
lot of six
that's
and
a
and
that's
three.
a barbecue shish kebab.
nice.
Yeah, there
My
you go.
dad's been doing the carnivore at work again.
Yeah. Oh, is
Uh,
he? I might try it. He has me
he's
almost
down to
sold.
305
Mm-hmm.
from 340.
Dude, your
Yeah.
dad is a monster too. I can't imagine him coming down.
He said he's coming
Get
to
faster.
260 to pull Dale, man.
Dude, if he gets to that, he's gonna be so fast, and I'm gonna see him pin. He's gonna be like this. Boom. You
Yeah.
want to see it again or what? Like,
Wants to pull Dale at 260.
jeez. Yeah, Dale said he'd pull him at 265.
Yeah. And Clifton said Keith and Tom will be the refs. So Keith
Oh,
was the guy who refed Garage Wars.
oh, okay.
But Clifton said it's IFA strict rules, so it's way different than the arm bender in a sense. So I'm assuming because it's state championships, it will be stricter.
Oh,
But
so they're
Keith,
doing our rules. They're doing what we used at Arms Again, pretty much. Then.
Okay.
yeah, it's the same thing at their state championships.
Okay.
The IFA.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
You know what? I'm not pulling. Maybe what day is it?
September 14th. It's their state championships. It's in Billing, so it's like 3 hours further than
I
Great
knew about
Falls.
that one.
But
Yeah.
because Miles was talking to me about that, he was seeing if I was going to come out because he's doing 220. I'm actually curious to see. I'm like Clifton's obviously a heavy favorite, but I want to watch Clifton and Miles pull.
Miles, you know what? Watch in a year. Watch where Miles is in a year.
Oh,
You know, like he's
I
got a
don't
lot.
want to know.
He's got a natural hand, and it's crazy. But he's going to grow into that hand even more. Like he's still kind of rookie-ish, and I mean, you know what I mean. I'm curious to see where Miles can go. I mean,
Been doing it for what, 9 months or something?
yeah, like he's pulled. I think he's probably close to a year now. He was 6 months in or something at Lethbridge. I'm pretty sure he said.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, the guy's got talent, that's for sure.
well, he's got a natural gift. The guy's got a natural. I mean, he's got a Bellin. It's not as big as Bellin's, but it's a Bellin size hand on a guy that's much smaller.
Yeah,
Like, it's
Yeah.
real weird. Yeah. So
totally.
yeah, you know, right now I think a lot of guys they'll just cancel his hand and go through his arm, like the
Yeah.
more experienced guys.
That's what Clifton's going to do. He's gonna absolutely just overpower him.
Well, yeah,
But
that's the thing. I
but
mean, but you still got to keep everything.
Miles's hand is like, it's intimidating for sure,
It is.
especially for
It
a
is.
220 or he said he can make 98s.
Wow.
Like Miles at 198 is like crazy.
The coverage he gets. I gripped up with him, and not too many guys can get around my hand at all. He was around my hand. I was like, I don't like that at all. I'm not used to feeling people getting anywhere near.
A mortal man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the problem with Bellin. When I try to pull him, like he's got so much hand, I just can't do nothing.
But you know what? Miles, like there's ways to beat him.
Oh yeah, and I see holes, but I mean that's what I'm saying. You know, over time, wait till he hits his year 3. You know, or year 2. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
I just glad he loves it and he's going to stick with it. Because you know how many guys are natural talents and then they don't even like arm wrestling, or they go to a practice and because they got an owie, they don't come back again. Like that sucks.
Yeah. He said Zach Battlezone and Martin Langlois of Cooney Kings and Brian Marginet. I'm telling you, Zach smacks both those guys. I'm confident.
Oh,
I put money on it.
Brian's really experienced, but I think Zach's got too much. He's too much power, too much strength.
No, I think Zach beats them both.
I think so too. Actually, that's a match. Brian Marginette and Zach.
Yeah.
That would be that's the match to make, I think.
Set it up through the fingers. Set it up.
He's one below me, and I've been trying to get a match with anyone above me, but nothing.
But he's won national. He's won national championships. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I know that Brian won the overalls, but that overalls was messed up. And Zach beat. Yeah, I'll take Zach over Brian.
Yeah, not me, but Brian Marginette.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did when that overalls was wacky. Yeah, I think Miles beat Mason in that too.
Yeah, which is like,
yeah, that's like, wow, really? Yeah.
I don't know.
Beats Mason.
He beat Mason, and then the 154 guy beat him. Yeah. Like, what are we doing here, guys?
I know, but that's where overalls are kind of messy because you know what? Everybody's already pulled all day. I mean, people are tired, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we did the overalls at the last Armfinity one, and that was the funnest. That was so fun, man.
It was fun,
wasn't it? Yeah, you had a war with Jaden Hill.
Yeah.
That's why I was talking to you guys, like in our like private chat, just about like how fun it would be if eventually one summer we literally just did like an overall tournament at Stu's Ranch. Just did like a best 2 out of 3s and set them up in like a NCAA bracket like Travis Bajan. And
like, oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you just match your weights are always the closest.
And just did as many, like just pretty much advertised it and like very, very cheap or even free entry and got as many people as we possibly could. Like imagine, like you think about it, if we advertised it properly in Alberta, like we could probably get over 100 people.
And you know what we should do? Very cheap, okay? Because we can use Stu would let us do it there for sure.
Yeah,
we go very cheap and we do a charity barbecue, okay? And then all proceeds can go towards prizing. Then you're gonna get like imagine that you had like good prize for first, good prize all the way down to like 6th or 7th or something.
That'd be cool.
You could probably get 100 people like in the top pullers too would come, right? Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
The way I saw Travis Bajan do it was basically like, let's say Zach weighs 186.4 and I weigh 186.6. We would pull each other, and then the winner of that would move on. But then when it gets to the point where I'm now pulling someone, or let's say I keep winning, and it gets to the point where I'm now pulling someone who's 205 pounds, so that considering we're now out of their category, I would be considered the 198 champion. So then you do that would be the champion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
Going to find the overall champion, but you crown the weight champions on the way. So it works out so that, like, if you set it up properly, the 225 would pull, or sorry, the super would pull the 242, and then the 225 would pull the 198, and then the 176 would pull the 154s at the end.
Bracket,
and then the winners bracket on to the finals where there's an overall, which should be the super heavyweight guy.
No, it doesn't mean that.
When you're doing 2 of 3s and endurance comes into play, and maybe they're battling and you've been walking through, a lot of things get tricky, right?
Yeah, well, the bigger guys tend to fatigue faster.
That's what I mean. And so that's the thing. Like, you could set it up so that each class winner gets a certain amount of money, and then overall gets added on top of that.
Yep. Big one for the overall, and then everybody that wins their class gets a prize of cash.
Yeah, even if we did $5 to enter, depending on how many people entered. If 100 people entered, that's $500, right?
Yeah.
So you could do $250 for the overall or something, and then the other $250 you just divide it by 6. Or divide it by 5.
And we might be able to do it more because I brought in $750 from the barbecue when I did the backyard super slam.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the barbecue too. So you could throw the barbecue in there as well. Yeah, that'd be fun.
It could be good, man. It could be good. Yeah, I agree.
I'm game for it. My phone might die here, but thanks for watching, everybody. I mean, glad to chat with everyone.
Phone. Yeah.
I guess we have been on for 2 hours.
Yeah, we done good. I guess you know what, we were worried about being able to talk enough shit, but you know what? It works pretty good.
We had
Two
to stop talking about stuff so that we didn't.
hours. Yeah,
I'll
we had to
catch
stop talking about shit. Yeah.
I'll catch up on the rest of these comments, then we can. So Brian, someone said grabbing your hands like grabbing a beer bottle, Brian. St. Louis said Brian Marginet won the overalls against so we got that one. Dad said no one goes to Fraser. And then Brian said no. And then so Mason lost overalls, and then Brian Marginet got third in worlds in the 90s. Yeah, that's good. I know Paul Andrews has won worlds before.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then
Oh, we
Clifton
did.
Harris.
Paul did win. Yeah, Paul's a world champion. Yeah.
Yeah. Seen the video of the aftermath discussion. I'm a strong believer on partial preacher curls and table curls. Yeah, fair enough, Clifton, for sure. And Thomas said he'd come out to that event. See, that's what I mean. Like, if we did something and people just knew that it was just for the love of arm wrestling and just something like where we're not
You're subscribed to get a discount. You know?
All the money.
Yeah,
we should do that too. That was a good idea, hey?
Yeah, that was Dakota's idea, not mine.
No, it's good. It's good. But if we did a Through the Fingers event, what we'd want to try to do to promote is like, if you're active on here or if you're subscribed, we could like offer a discount for entries.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
Or maybe like
$30 for the arm, you could do it for 25 or 20.
And if we plan in advance too, I can get some custom prizes too for maybe even match of the day, fucking, most heart, we can think up some prizes too. I like those ones. I like the extra little things, right?
Who went through the fingers the best,
Exactly. Yeah, because we're all about going through the fingers, right? So,
yeah. Funny, we all did that at the freaking Arms Again too.
We sure did. Yeah.
At least once. We all went through the fingers once, so that's good.
Well, see, that's the thing. People, it is going through it is all about the fingers, man. Like, two evenly strength guys bang in the middle. You're gonna have to go through the fingers, man, to get the pin. Like,
yeah, totally.
Yeah. So
someone said get the loyal viewers a super match. Zane asked how Zach does against Vitaly Safronov. I don't know. That'd also be a good match.
Yeah, I've only after pulled him once after I was at a tournament pretty banged up, and he felt pretty good.
He's good.
I don't know. Can't comment on it too much.
He won nationals this year in his weight class.
I'd like to think that I would stand a chance at least. So
Clifton said, make it open on your YouTube and I'll throw bones. I do for every single arm channel. Yeah, that's awesome, Clifton. We appreciate that.
We'd do that for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'd definitely be televising it through the channel.
Oh yeah, we'd be, and we're trying to do it like good quality. Try to get a nice production.
Oh yeah. Well, I have a nice camera. It would just be setting it up with a laptop to get to go live. Like I have a really nice streaming camera.
What we could do, Brian? We could bring one of our PCs and just set that up so nothing overheats or anything.
Yeah, we could do that. I also have a $12,000 shoulder mount, but the only thing is now it's only the best it does is 1080p high def, because it was the best of its kind when I bought it, but now I've had it for like 4 years.
You can even go on Amazon now and get them little handheld ones that you plug into a PC, and they're like 4K and they set up in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Exactly. So we'll figure it out. We'll see if we can get entry too. We'll try to get the whole shebang looking good.
We will. Yeah. We will. And actually, we're already talking about it. We have 9 months to plan this event. So
we'll do a mock event. How about that? We won't televise one event. We'll just do a mock event.
Well, we could still. Well, no, if we're mocking it, we still have to televise it.
We still got to televise.
I guess. But still, it'll be more of a proof of that we can get a good show than anything.
Yeah.
And I'm even thinking down the road, depending on how we do in funds. I mean, we could always talk to Red Light Studios too, or whatever.
Yeah.
Red Light.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean, guys. Too. That's one thing. Like, we're halfway there now, but when we do get monetized and we open up super chats and stuff, like, we're gonna put that money right back into this. Like, that's what's gonna happen.
Also, giving you guys some good entertainment, some good some videos,
good prizes, things like that too.
Yeah, exactly.
Get everyone involved, not just us. Get the freaking people on the show, get the freaking viewers stuff,
Well, yeah, that's just it, right? I mean, pretty much anybody. We can plan, almost anybody can come on and shoot the shit with us on the pod. So just message one of us three if you're interested, and we'll get you on here. I mean, it's for the community, right? So
Yeah.
Clifton asked for our opinions on him, Leaf, and Joe. I'm assuming he means like if they're
Joe
all
Fear.
each other. Yeah, Joe Fear.
I like Leaf's hand. I'm impressed with Leaf's hand lately.
Yeah,
I think he
I've
pulls a little
never
bit like me.
I've never
Yeah.
gripped up with Clifton, so I don't know.
No,
But
I
from what
don't. I
I've
know
seen,
he's strong though, so I can't. I don't know. Judging by his side pressure, I think if he can keep his hand against Leaf, I think
Does
Cliff can
Clifton
beat
pull
him.
in the strap or out of the strap?
I think
Like
he
is
could
it better?
probably powerful either way. Probably better in
yeah,
the strap.
Because what I saw, this is just a totally third person, might mean nothing, but I might have seen that it would be more advantageous to pull that Leaf guy in the strap.
In the strap, yeah, I agree. Because Leaf's got a good hand, and at his strap, he might be able. He might be
It
able to
looks
crack
like
that.
he looks like his connection separates a little bit in the strap. He's not
Yeah,
like have that same lock.
yeah.
But as far
They
as
don't pull enough in the strap.
That Joe guy, I didn't see him enough to really see. And what I saw was mostly after pull with Leaf, so you can't take that to heart either.
Listen, I seen Joe at Mayhem, Joe Fuhrer at Mayhem. If he's on, if that day he doesn't have any injuries and he's on, he'll be tough for anybody to beat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just Joe had some elbow problems and he's had some pain, aches and pains. So it seems like guys that go inside are breaking through him right now because he's injured. But I don't know. Joe is pretty impressive. Mayhem, he fucking, I think he went to the final against Mason. I mean,
Good.
it was like 14 or 15 guys in that class.
Yeah.
Joe felt really good at Armsgeddon. So I don't know where they're at compared to Clifton, so I'm
I
excited
think
to see them pull.
I
But if
think
Clifton goes
Clifton,
through both those guys, I'll be like, wow.
Impressed.
well, Clifton just responded. He says he's better out than in, but I bet you any money, Clifton. I don't know because I don't know how much you practice or how much you go in the straps, but that amount of power that you have going sideways, if you started pulling more just in the straps, I guarantee you'd be stronger in the straps. Like I'm pretty sure. I'm
I
pretty.
don't know much about that Joe Fair guy except that he's crazy strong.
Oh, Joe Fair, he's yeah,
Yeah.
and he seems to be good. He seems like he can go outside and inside too.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. And the only one I don't, who's the other guy? Oh, Leaf. Yeah, Leaf. I've only seen a couple matches of his. I seen him when he beat Chuck in that super match. And I think Chuck still got a round on him. So, but I did notice that Leaf's hands seems to be pretty good. So if he can bust your hand back, you're gonna have a hard time going sideways.
Better off in the strap, making more about the arm than anything.
Yeah, I would. And with that side pressure, even if you lose your hand a bit, you can just crank on that strap and go right to the pad sideways.
But I hope Leaf hears that too, and he kind of
Yeah, I hope so too. And
right.
yeah, it'd be nice if Lee's watching, he can pipe in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm impressed by him, though. I think he's got a lot of potential too.
Yeah, and that was in the after poll, so he might have been hiding some stuff, making people think he's, you know what I mean? That could also just be some tricks, right? Could be mind tricks. Could be
Well,
smart.
so that after poll, I ended up geez, Roger, your dad, Dakota. I'm like standing off to the side drinking a Coke, and somebody asked for me, wanted to pull me in the after poll, and your dad's like, Brian, he's yelling around, and I'm like standing like right here beside him, and I'm like, I don't want to after poll, man. I can go hit the gym tomorrow. I said I felt so good after my match. I was like, I don't know if I want to get ripped up. Yeah. But if someone would have directly pulled me, I would have after pulled with them. And then I wanted to actually after pull Leaf. Yeah. That's what I wanted to pull actually. Yeah. But oh well, next time.
Yeah, no, all good. Well, guys, it is 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
We'll probably wrap this up.
Yeah, we could talk probably till 2 in the morning anyway.
Oh, we could.
Good.
We could,
Yeah.
but we're hopefully we're gonna try and get Josh DeVoe on Tuesday as a guest.
Yeah.
And then other than that, that's about it, guys. We're just gonna keep this rolling. Keep liking and subscribing. After we talked about that last time, it was awesome. We gained like almost 20 subs in like 3 days. So thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate that. If you know people who like watching these or have like input, feel free to send them over to watch too. Like the more the merrier. You guys were super active in the chat today, which is nice. It kept us kind of rolling. So
yeah, I like it. And we want to know your thoughts and opinions too.
Yeah. Yeah, like if we're doing something bad or something you think we could do better, just feel free to let us know, or something you want to see. Like on Facebook, you can message any of us. That's probably the best way to get a hold of all three of us. I'm on Instagram and TikTok as well. You can message me on there. I check them all the time, but Facebook's probably the best one. And then, yeah, that's about it for today, guys.
Yep. We're gonna have to save some of this shit.
Yeah.
For sure.
But yeah, thanks everyone for joining. We love you all, and come back Tuesday.
Yeah. Peace out, guys. See you later.